8. Ignition sequence has started. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have commit and we have liftoff at 2:13. The Saturn V building up to 7.6 million pounds of thrust, and it is clear that...
Every day I wake up and wanna go back to bed. No matter how much I've slept, I wanna go back to bed. No matter what I'm doing, I know what I wanna be doing instead. I wanna go back to bed. I wanna go back to bed.
Did you know that in Hawaii, it's actually illegal to laugh loudly? You have to keep it to aloha.
I got a king-size bed. I don't know any kings, but if one came over, I guess he'd be comfortable. Oh, you're a king, you say. Well, you won't believe what I have in store for you. It's to your exact specifications. When I was a boy, I laid in my twin-size bed and wondered where my brother was.
Dear parents of human children, when you are out in public, learn to control your crotch goblins and semen demons so that they do not disturb the peace and ruin everyone else's day. Don't make us pay for your mistakes. That is all.
Are these your drugs?
Look, Dad, it's not
Where
my...
did you get it?
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
Stop hating Mondays. Be a professional and hate the whole week instead.
Bruh.
Get the F off my yard! Get the F off my yard!
Give me back that filet fish. Give me that fish. Give me back that filet fish. Give me that fish. What if it were you hanging up on this wall? If it were you in that sandwich, you wouldn't be laughing at all. So give me back that filet fish. Give me that fish. Oh.
That you're getting paid a good amount of money for it, and you can do laundry after, and it'll be like it never happened.
Yeah, sure.
And then you're gonna shop vac them out. You don't have to put this. You don't have to put this on. That's a big one. You can cut that if you want to cut that in half. You can cut that in half. I'll be a good guy.
It's gonna be mayonnaise.
Okay, then don't cut it in half. I was trying to make it easier.
All over my clothing.
Okay.
Hell no! It ain't going inside my fucking shorts or inside my shirt. Hell fucking no! $3,000, $300,000, or fuck you!
No, the deal was already done, Perry. Sit down. Perry, don't make me call this movie producer. Was that a door delivery? Hold on.
Doors open this Friday, so come on down to the barbecuer. Oh, shit! No.
Do you feel that? Do you feel that? Oh, shit.
We're doing it!
Oh, hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Come on, get in here. Who's ready? What do you think, everybody? Are you ready? It doesn't matter what you think. The day's going to come every way. How are you going to doing, everybody? It is the midday. It is the midweek. It is Wednesday, September 25th, right here on BF Live Streamshow, episode 155, folks. Making our way to 200 swiftly. How's everybody doing today? Are you ready for the middle of the day? Are you ready for the middle of the week? Well, like I said, life doesn't hold up for us, right? No matter if we care or not, it's still coming anyway. I hope everybody's doing well today and had a great day yesterday. Let's see what kind of fun we can get into the next 3 hours, folks. We're going to do the regular stuff we like to do here. We're going to do the other news. We're going to do the National Day Hey Hey calendar, all the fun stuff. We're going to do Cyke Labs, miserable news history moment, all that stuff. What I'm really excited about is that in the second hour of the show, maybe about at 1:30 or so, probably after the piss break, we're going to have a guest today. We are going to have Dillon From Somewhere. Yep, so we're looking forward to have Dillon From Somewhere, meeting him and finding out how he got into kind of all this world and this realm and everything, and have his opinion about this whole Aaron stuff going on with Steel Toe, because I know he's an aficionado of that stuff. So we're going to have a lot of fun having guests here, so we're going to do some of the regular stuff. We're going to have a guest. We're going to mix it all up and have fun for the next 3 hours, folks. So far, it's just me and you. Nobody's backstage. No Bobby, Nick, no Scott yet, but I have you guys. I got lots of chats piling up, so we'll get to the chat family check-in and all the other fun stuff we do here. But we will do that. Let me get to my thing here. Let me go fire up the machine here, and let's get this going. Before we get started, though, before we get the show started, we're going to take a little quick. Oh, if I play it, it'll work. Hey-oo. Let's see. Present. Here it comes. Come on. All my signal's underwater, folks. Here we go. Hey, we're going on this cruise. That's right, it's the gay cruise. And
hello, Frisco.
Coming to you from Carnival Cruises, the Gay Way 1995 cruise. What the fuck? What is this? Got Andrew in there too. That damn Terry Knee. What's up, Terry Knee? That's a Terry Knee jam. He just threw in my mailbox right before the show. So I figured I would share that with you before we started the chat family check-in. I see we're up to 97.99. Can I get over 100 chats? When I get over 100 chats in there, I'm going to put my goggles on. I'm going to run my element, and I'm going to see what you guys are up to today. You ready to get the middle of the week started? And look, we're just starting today's fun today in the middle of the day, the middle of the week, because you know how we do. I start off the day. I hold it down in the midday right here. But then tonight on the Levyverse channel right here on YouTube, you'll be able to see us on Replayables. That's right. We drink, smoke, laugh, and joke and have fun in the middle of the week. We had our friend New Girl stopped in the chat yesterday. Shout out, New Girl. I see you in the Discord saying you're looking forward to the show today. She was already doing her thing yesterday. She couldn't wait for midweek. She was like having a Tuesday drink on. So maybe if you want to have another drink on tonight, New Girl, join us tonight on Replayables, 8 o'clock East on the Levyverse channel for Replayables. Drink, smoke, laugh, and joke. I see it's over 104 in there now. So now it's time. I'm going to put my goggles on, folks, and you're going to tell me what you're doing as I run my element, and we're going to see what everybody's up to with the opening chat family check-in so we can get on the other fun stuff. You ready? Opening chat family check-in. Let's go.
Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
That's how it works. You talk amongst yourselves. You talk to me, and we hang out and have fun for the next 3 hours in the midday. That's how it works here on BF Live. Live, William was the first to check in, and he goes, Dillon from Delhi. That's right, Dillon is from somewhere. Dillon is from Delhi. I know that that might be his brother. I don't know. We'll have to get down to the bottom of that, but I know he's been a good sport about me playing that video and all. So we're going to have fun talking about that. How you doing, Live Ween, checking in? Hoya, says the Reverend Wild Bill. There you go. Well, first to say it, first to get it.
Can I get a Hoya? Get a Hoya. Can I get a Hoya? Can I get a Hoya?
Ads for Reverend Wild Bill. Hey, off the clock, Alexa, what you got going on today? What you got to say, girl?
What is up, my midday freaks?
Well, what is up? Off the clock, Alexa says, what is up, my midday freaks? She's ready to go. She's half a freak her damn self when she gets off of work. How you doing off the clock, Alexa? Two Joints checks in and says, Matt Dillon from the classic film The Outsiders. No. Wrong Dillon from the wrong somewhere. How you doing, Two Joints? I am your friend and host, BF, as you always say. Good day from Flex 316, checking in from down under. How you been, Flex? It's good to see you, my friend. Two Joints is giving the love to Flex 316. Flex says playing OWBRB. All right. That was fast. LOL, he's back already. What do you got to say about that, Tan Mom?
I never left.
Tan Mom never left, so you got to try to keep up with her. Flex 316 says good day to me, and I say good day right back to you. Two Joints says we are doing it. He knows what's up.
We're doing it.
We're holding it down for you in the midday for 3 hours live every day, Monday through Friday. We are, in fact, doing it. Two Joints says morning, BF, Bobby, Nick, Scott, and Scott Fitzpatrick. Well, I'm looking around. I'm kind of all alone today, guys. I don't know. I'm all alone. Maybe they're kind of potted out for now. We get into that rhythm every now and then where they kind of burn the candle at the other end while I'm doing my dayside thing. Matt says, bones up to BF and the Midday Freaks. He coined it. Matt is the moderator for Scott Fitzpatrick page over there on YouTube. He's not here, Matt. Your boy's not here. They're all sleeping in on me today. But they can pop in when they usually wake up. Shout out to the 20 people making their way into the BF Live already. Two Joints says, Matt, buddy, bones up. Matt says, Two Joints, my man, bones up. Blocky friend, a blocky friend, blocky friend. What's up, Justa? How you doing, buddy? Happy Wednesday to you, my friend. Midweek. Just a guess. Bonus, or boners. What's up, Two Joints from Just a Guess. Matt says, what's up to Justa? Two Joints says, Dylan's cool. People ask me where I'm from now, and I'm gonna say somewhere, bitch. Where you from? From none of your goddamn business. From none of you. MSIP checks in. A great bro. Is it muted? Are you hearing me, guys? Let me check in my feed. Are you guys hearing me? Tell me how I'm doing this show this whole time muted. Let me go to my live feed. Is it muted? Let me see. See, this is what happens when I don't have, I can hear me going out. This is what happens when I don't have Bobby Nick or somebody here to let me know the technical things I might be doing wrong. Hoya, guys, have a great stream and hit that like button. That's from our friend, Echo Pineapple, who joined us last Friday right here on BF Live. Hey, Echo, how you doing, my friend? Checking in. Two Joints says, hello, Echo, Mike's, and MSIP. Oh, shit. Wild Bill knows it's about to go down. When you hear her say, oh, shit, you know it's about to go down here on BF Live. Two Joints checks in and says, Reverend Wild Bill, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
Matt checks in and says, the green bastard from parts unknown. Spawn checks in and says, positivity incoming, a good morning, and hello to Bobby and all. Also, a good afternoon to the late legendary producer, Jetty Finn, hashtag Backwash Soda. Spawn, how you doing, my midday friend? Coming in and getting that positivity and giving some out too. Reverend Wild Bill checks in and says, Two Joints, HIGH/Hoya. Spawn says, Hoya pals. My anthem, says our friend Just a Guest. Spawn, hello from Two Joints. MSIP says yes. Rob Saw, gay voice time. I'm such a sucker for that.
I know I have a lot of gay tendencies, but
there you go. Let's see. Spawn getting the love from MSIP. Caravello King says Two Joints. We saw a little Perry in the opening chat family check-in. The Filet-O-Fish, where Tom had to try to get him to stuff it in his pockets and stuff like that. Greetings from Hotlanta, everyone, and Hoya. I see Two Joints in the morning. I see Two Joints at night. I see Two Joints in the afternoon. He makes me feel all right, and so does MSIP. The Reverend Wild Bill already got a Hoya. You greedy bastard. I gave you the first Hoya. Two Joints checks in and says, shout out to the gender-friendly Delta Airlines. We will play that as part of our Cyke Labs content. Everybody's getting such a great reaction. I guess somebody ran with the gay theme as now it's not only the gay Delta Airlines, but Terry Nee took it another level and now has us on gay cruises. So I'm not sure where everybody gets this from, but it's all good fun. Hoya from our friend Two Joints. MSIP says the Reverend Wild Bill getting the love. The Reverend Wild Bill shouts out Spawn and says Hoya. Two Joints checks in and says, Dad, you taught me, I learned it from watching you, Two Joints. I just love, there's something, like, for whatever reason, we just couldn't escape that commercial back in those days. And it was always like a joke almost right away about, yeah, of course everybody kind of picked it up from, like, watching their, whoever was around them and all. So that was a lot of fun. It's always fun just throwing that in there. Shitty Internet getting the love from our friend Spawn. Just a Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. Flexi316 getting the love from MSIP, Mike's shitty internet provider. Reverend Wild Bill gives it right back to Mike's shitty internet provider. Hoya from Just a Guess. The lovely Lisa checks in. And she says, happy hump day. Happy hump day. What's up, Lisa? Lisa, how you doing? Whoop, wrong one. How you doing? We're
doing it.
We are doing it, Lisa. Spawn checks in and says, I remember that commercial very well. Does Dad sport his 80s bush similarly? That's why you never taught me to manscape, Dad. I learned it from watching you. I seen your hairy bush getting out of the shower, Dad. Never learned it. Hoya Lisa from Two Joints. Lisa Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. MSIP checks in and says Hoya to the Reverend Wild Bill. Flex just throws out the number 7. Two Joints says, fill that pocket, boy. Come on, how do we need to go here on BF Live? We got to fill that pocket. We got to meet that. Let's see. Mayonnaise, says our friend Two Joints. Mayonnaise. Flex, how you been, my friend, from MSIP. Flex Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. Spawn says sloppy seconds aren't the worst when a gentleman is hard up. It's true. If you're hungry, you're hungry. You can take what you get. Hoya Manogas from Cyke Labs. Wait till you see the next thing. And yeah, I'm definitely noticing a theme here now that I'm coming to think about it, of Terry Nee and now Cyke Clyde. And when I show you the latest thing you're not going to believe from Cyke Labs in the Cyke Labs content segment, your mind will be blown once again, as always. How you doing, Cyke, my friend? Cyke Clyde Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. Cyke gets the 666 from our friend Matt Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. MSIP says, Cyke, we speak your name. Clyde Cyke says, Hoya Wild Bill and Matt 666. Two Joints says, oh, I can feel that, hottie. Yeah. Hottie with a party. Do you feel that? You're feeling BF Live in the afternoon. That's what you're feeling. Get down, get funky, and get back up again, my friend Flex 316. Oh, shit. See, everybody feels it. That's what I love about that little clip right there. Spawn says, I believe I may have just blown a small circular hole in my boxers. Hoya to that. I'm not going to ask what end you blew that hole in or anything. I'm not going to. I don't want to. Oh, okay. Let's see. MSI Pre, I appreciate the love, says Cyke. Hoya Rev from the Mat. We're doing it, says Two Joints. We're doing it. We're having it. Cyke Mang from Two Joints. LOL Spawn from Cyke Clyde. We're doing it, the Reverend Wild Bill says. Spawn says, we're just holding it all down during the midday with positive vibes and reach arounds. Yes. Free reach arounds. You just go behind my green screen right here, and somebody back there will give you a free reach around. We'll take care of that. Take care real quick for you. Free reach arounds in the midday. MSIP checks in with a most colorful and generous 5 gifted BF Live memberships. Doo-dah. Thanks for making the family even bigger for the 5 gifted memberships. Echo Pineapple caught one. Flex 316 caught one. The one and only Dead Fool caught one. NOE caught one. No caught one. And Jake Fire caught one. Thank you. Thank you for making our family bigger. Thank you for your most generous 5 gifted memberships. And if you consider re-upping when that expires, when and if that expires, I would certainly appreciate it. The Two Joints checks in and says, your friend and host, BF Bob, you know it. It says it right there. Let's see when I don't have a chat up. It says it right there. Cyke says, oh, snap, you got a dead fool. I like that. Although it makes me wonder. Let me see. Deadful Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. Mike Shitty Provider says, I got Deadful a membership, money well spent. And that's great when somebody so generous gets some kind of love in here, like our Dave Dafflers or Deadful. Good morning to those guys. Cyke Clyde and Ekul says, and Ekul and Flexi, hell yeah. Two Joints says 3 1-hour shows in one, folks. You can't 3. That's right. 3, not one show. He even see. There's somebody that pays attention, because that's what I like to do, essentially, because everybody comes and goes different hours of the day. I've noticed this day has a rhythm to it. So it's like 3 separate hour shows all in one. It's a bargain. Where else are you going to get that? Right here than BF Live. I got Flex too, says MSIP. You got all the great friends, man. I'll remind you earlier that the link is already running for Dillon From Somewhere on YouTube. You can click on it right there. When I remember, I like to run our friends' links, our guest links in the chat. Look who we've got, another friend checking in worldwide. Hoya. Checking in from across the pond. It is my friend Dang Lizard. How you doing, my friend? Hoya to you.
Can I get a Hoya? Can I get a Hoya? Can I get a Hoya?
Hoya to you, Danglers. Thanks for checking in, man. That's why I say BF Live is worldwide. We got Australia. We got the UK. We got all people representing here. Uh-oh, says our friend Cyke Clyde. Dang Lizard Hoya from Two Joints. Dang Lizard gets the Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. Spawn checks in and says, if I'm checked out of here by the time Dillon hops in here, tell him Spawn has mad respect and appreciation for his body of work. I will say, Spawn really appreciates your body and he wants to work it over, something like that. Okay, I got you covered there, Spawn. I'll let him know, man. Yeah, he's going to, only because I've been trying to do like guest in the second hour of the show, and he's also busy doing something, so he won't be able to kind of be over here until almost like 1:30. Stream Elements getting the Gano from the Reverend Wild Bill. Gay cruise ship. Yeah, where I don't know where everybody's getting this theme from.
Hello, Frisco.
I don't know why everybody's so comfortable with this theme all of a sudden. Terry Nee and Delta Airlines and all this stuff. Gay ship cruises. Who ever thought of such a thing? I know who. Terry Nee did. We're all going to be there, folks. It's the Dabbleverse Gay Cruise. Hello, Frisco.
Hello, Frisco.
I'm going to be wearing my Delta airline suit. It's going to be dreamy. It's going to be super fantastic. Look at all that man meat. Perry's going to be the first one on board, aren't you, Perry?
Shut the fuck up.
You know you're going to be the first one on that boat and the last one off. Fucking Terry Nee. Damn Terry Nee. Let's see. We got men holding hands and cigarettes up from our friend Matt. Men holding hands. Men holding hands. Fuck yeah, Andrew is in it. Yes, Andrew's going to be on the gay cruise too. We're going to push him all around in that boat in his wheelchair. Two Joints is laughing. Long live Terry Nee, says MSIP. Once again, like I always say, you crazy guys, you guys make this show fun because you take what we're doing and you have all other ways of going with it and having fun with it. And that's what I love. Gano, 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 gano. Gano, 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 Good day, Reverend Wild Bill. How you doing today? Let's see. The Stream Element spots are running all of our friends' links. Spawn is talk amongst yourselves, chip voice overwork. No, talk amongst yourselves was the Linda Richmond character that Mike Myers did on Saturday Night Live, and it went a little something like this.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm feeling verklempt. That's where that's from. The Reverend Wild Bill checks in and says, New Girl would be great on Replayables. New Girl would be great on fill in the blank, I would have to say. The charming and most easy on the eyes, the lovely New Girl who we're getting to know because she is in fact new. Yeah, I do intend to have her on BF Live more. I didn't want to just fall victim to the titties yesterday. You know, I have some shows, I plan stuff out, and I didn't want to go just scratch the record and go titties, must go titties, you know. I kind of want to do the show I plan on, but I think I love New Girl. I mean, it's certainly easy on the eyes and keeps people around a little longer. So, yeah, she'll definitely be part of a lot of the things that we're doing. And, yes, I think having her on Replayables is an excellent idea, the Reverend Wild Bill. There's all of our friends' links running, like the T Public Store of Space Chief 75. In the Lounge with Bobby Nick Havens, Dillon's links running, as well as Cyke Labs, who you will want to check out at your leisure after I show you the Cyke Labs content segment here. We hear you just fine, says the Red Wild Bill. Thank you for my audio. Thanks for my audio backup friend right here, my kind of tech support, the Reverend Wild Bill. I am always kind of messing with the settings. I'm looking for proper modulation, so I'm glad you can hear me. Mr. Crow checks in and says, good morning, all. How you doing, man? What's up, Mr. Crow? What's good? All right. Gimme Bezos checks in and says, hola, everyone. Hola and buenos dias, gimme besos. Spawn checks in and says the audio is good. I appreciate that. My sister Kathy says, yes, I can hear you. So that's a good thing because, folks, I have done shows where I've done like the first 5, 10 to 15 minutes, not realizing that my mic was muted or that I didn't hit the live button twice, and I'm sitting here doing a show for myself. So that sometimes that's why it's good to have a person backstage so they can go, BF, we can't hear you. We can't see the article you're throwing up, but my chat family will keep me straight today. Two Joints checks in and says, gimme besos, man. Good morning. Flex 316 checks, Clyde Cyke is crushing it. I concur and agree with that. Let's have a gay old time. Hey, Fred, they're fucking over there, Fred. Hey, Fred, look at that. He's fucking that guy, Fred. Look. Hey, Fred. Let me see. Dang Loser checks in and says, a cruise with Perry, you say? You're going, right, Perry?
Shut the fuck up.
I didn't say it. Dang Loser said it. Good day, Mike's shitty internet provider from Flex316. Spawn checks in and says, chick I dated in high school, her mom owned a local KFC in the 90s. That had to move the buffet due to the old ladies stealing drumsticks in their purses. Hilarious. Oh yeah, you're not wrong about that, Spawn. Any kind of all-you-can-eat situation, old people got some game, man. I used to go to the local bull and oyster feast and roast around here, and you see old women taking beef home in Ziploc bags once those big freezer bags became a popular thing. But they were doing it even before the freezer bags, bro. So yeah, gotta watch them old ladies. They got some mad buffet game. Dang Lizard checks in and says, happy gay. Happy gay, the Reverend the Wild Bill. Let's see. Spawn says, mayo is really good with French fries. Says, you're the only person I've ever heard say that. Dang Lizard checks in and says, nothing like jerking off your producer and have a happy time. We'll have a gay old time. Thank you, Flexi, from Cyke Labs. Flex316 checks in and says, g'day, the Reverend Wild Bill. The Reverend Wild Bill checks in and says, Spawn mayo with a dab of mustard. He goes for his fries. Dang Lizard, howdy from Flex316. MSIP says, I hope Cyke made another gay-themed video. It's a pretty good thing to roll with. I don't know why you think that's funny, but we're going to find out in Cyke Labs content. You'll see. The Reverend Wild Bill checks in and says, Spawn checks in for the Reverend Wild Bill and says, Wild Bill, I like weird shit. Honey mustard is quite delightful and versatile. Flex316 checks in and says, about to chop up. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, chop, chop. Hello, MSIP. It's along those lines. Hi-ho. Cheers TV. Cheers and thank you, rather, says Flex316. The Reverend Wild Bill says, thank you, Spawn. Spawn, try mayo with a touch of brown mustard mixed in. I knew. Cyke is getting the laughs and the love from MSIP. And I want to thank Flex316 from checking in from down under. He just made the family even bigger with his most generous gifted membership. And you know who caught that? Mr. Crow and me. And that's Mr. Crow thanking you. Thank you, Flex316. Let me see, Mike's indie internet provider. That guy says, you're welcome, Flex. Nice Flex from 2 Joints. Mr. Crow, a great name. Mr. Crow Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. Dang checks in and says, Hoya to Flex316. Can't be left out, says Flex. Deuce of the Dabbleverse checks in. Hey, brother. How you doing, man? I don't know if you saw, I kind of saved it to the end of yesterday's show because I wanted to show them, man. But you were nice enough to say that I could play your bloody ass video and your other video. I showed that Misfits cover on the show yesterday, man. Great, fun, talented stuff. And people had a lot of fun watching you perform those songs here. And I would love to have you on one day when you can do it on a weekday or something. Welcome, Douche. Douche of the Dabbleverse getting the Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. Clyde, Cyke is checking in for Dang. Ding dong, Mrs. Cyke checks in. She's known just midweek, so she says, Hoya, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Ding dong, Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. Fantasy Island on the water, says the 2 Joints. The plane. 2 Joints is having fun with the Perry emoji. Mr. Crow checks in and give him the love and a salute to Wild Bill. Hoya Wild Bill from Ding Dong. Damn, says Flex316. Hoya says Mr. Crow. Gano has a sick tie. He does have a sick tie. Well, we Hoya a lot too, but Space Nerd, who I haven't seen yet today, lovely nerd. Come on, nerd, get in here. To her and you, I say, Dankeschön. Oh.
Dankeschön, kleine Kinder.
Who doesn't like German buskers? Yeah, Dankeschön, everybody. Cheers, Flex316 from Mr. Crow. The Reverend Wild Bill checks in with a most colorful and generous $2 super chat, and he says, Hoya, blocky friend. Is that right?
You heard a friend, a blocking man. He kicks out people with just a hand. Hates avocado. shadows
Ain't that grand?
Blocking Buffalo got his brand. Laughing loud, living free. He's got the chat on lock, you see. Blocky friend. He blocks the hate, the #1 fan.
No hate here.
BF Live, hear his plan. Blocky friend.
Cool. Welcome to BF Live. I love blocking people from chat. I am Blocky Fran. Oh, yeah. I resemble that one, Mark, a little bit, I guess. Let me see what else. I got another one here. Where's that? Oh, we got.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Bob. Oh, yeah. Space Chief 75 checks in and he says, hey, BF, and hey, chat. What's up, Space Chief 75? 2 Joints checks in and says, hot women slapping the steak before the pan made my day. Hell yeah, man. I'm glad you like that segment. Every now and then, I show that every now and then. We do this segment yesterday called Can They Make You a Sandwich? Where these terribly attractive women said they're going to make sandwiches virally until they attract the right man. Dang Lizard checks in and says, do the emoji TTS work with the new super tip system on PCL? I have not utilized super tips on PCL yet. I either give, when I do to the crowdsources, I'll do it directly through like their PayPal link or something. And I only super chat occasionally. So I can't say I know all the ins and outs. I think they do voice stuff over there for sure. That seems to be a big feature of it. Cabasas says the Red Wild Bill. Space Chief 75 getting the love from Cyke Clyde. 2 Joints is saying Space Chief Dude. Hoya BF from the Deuce of the Dabbleverse. Fun song, and misfit cover and great fun lyrics, man. I love all the lyrics that you had in there. Cyke been working so hard on vacation, ding dong. Don't I know it, girl? And I acknowledged him yesterday. I'm like, this guy is working hard on vacation. You've been telling us all week that you're on vacation, yet Clyde Cyke, I'm calling him Clyde now, is throwing shit in my mailbox still at all hours of the night and the morning. So thank you, Cyke, guys. You guys are dedicated. Space Chief 75 giving the love to Cyke. Hoya douche first from the 2 Joints. 2 Joints is getting the love from Space Chief 75. 2 Joints is also getting the love from the Deuce of the Dabbleverse. The Red Wild Bill says, I like to go to buffets with my freezer bags. LOL. See, we got some napkin game too, Wild Bill. Now, even I got that too. Like, if we got the extra napkins or the salt and pepper on the tray, we'll kind of throw that, take it and throw it in the glove box for in case we're riding down the road and need a napkin or some salt or something like that. So, but yeah, I'm not too much on scraping that stuff. Hey, Cyke from the Dang Lizard. R.I.P. Jimmy Buffett. Oh, my goodness. Oh, hey, Twin from 2 Joints. Oh, hey, Twin. You like how I look in my uniform, right? I just didn't feel comfortable in the ladies' uniform. I felt so much better when I put that one. Oh, hi. BF turning into BG, Bobby Gay Live. Yeah, I know, dang. They're slowly, changing my sexuality, aren't they? I think it's because I'm coming off too hetero, and everybody's trying to neutralize my hetero, trying to knock me down a couple notches. The Reverend Wild Bill checks in with a most generous, gifted... I'm going to say gifted and generous, most generous, gifted 1 BF Live membership. Thank you, Wild Bill, for your generosity and expanding the family. And I will let you know that the one and only MSIP caught it. He was like, Wild Bill, throw it. I will catch that shit. And he just caught it. Thank you guys for making the family even bigger. Spawn says, R.I.P. Tiny Tim. The old fart literally keeled over in front of an audience about 11 somewhere in Minnesota. Yeah, that guy worked, and probably Spawn, if you're a Stern fan, Stern had kind of affinity for Tiny Tim. He was a fan of his from back in the day, and such a weird, quirky dude where, I only want the Kleenex, the Puffs Plus with the lotion. They must have the lotion. And every product he had to have to a T. It couldn't be anything, couldn't deviate from any product but what he wanted. Oh no, I must have this type of bandage strip or whatever. Rest in peace, Tiny Tim, a quirky dude. The Remote Bill checks in and says, MSIP, glad you caught that membership. Thanks for playing my vids, BF. Thank you, buddy. Man, like I said, douche, I think I told you privately, and I've said this on the show, that I know that there's talented people out here like yourself and Cyke Labs and Stacey Allen and Terry Nee, a bunch of crazy people, and we just I'll throw it in here on BF Live. This is our show, brother. So I like featuring stuff like you that are talented, man. So it was great stuff. Thanks for letting me do that. Triple D says, douche of the Dabbleverse, DDD, getting all the love. Bishan. Oh, Bichon Frise, maybe. Space Jeep 75 says, silver jacket, no pants, the look of the future. Spawn says, I wager 3 pairs of Jake's skid-marked overalls. The Northeast will get pounded with precipitation over the weekend. That's your official forecast.
What's up, guys?
I don't know what I have to say. Reverend Ma Bill says, not everyone can be blocked from the master. Blocky friend, salute. That's right. Ain't nobody blocks like me. He knows that. He knows that. Did I kick that one? I clicked that one. Yep. Welcome to BF Live. Yeah, I did that. Let's see. We got all the links running. I take the whole napkin tray. Says 2 joints. You just like take the whole. That's why they put them in the big boxes where you got to pull one at a time. Because from people like you, they learn it from watching you. Spawn says, I grab napkins, salt and pepper, condiments, any chance I see. My old lady wouldn't remember any of those without a shotgun pointed at her. So there you go. So I knew everybody's got a little kind of game. Let's see. The Douche Ever says, oh my God, not only does BF look like Tracy Morgan, now he sounds like Tracy Morgan. That's crazy. I don't know why you say that. That's crazy. Let me see. Tiptoe through the tulips. I knew Tiny Tim, interesting man and tall as hell. Through the tulips, we got that one. Tiny Tim was one out there dude for sure, said our friend Spawn. The Reverend said, Spawn says to the Reverend, I'm sure you've seen his close call DUI on the golf cart. He told on Stern shortly before he died, oh yes, Mr. Stern, yes, I almost had this terrible incident, Mr. Stern, with the golf cart on the golf course, but everything was okay. The Reverend Bell checks in and says, my go-to song for all my debauchery is Tiptoe Through the Tulips. That's your postal song? You can just hear that. That's going to be your soundtrack when you're like going around murking people. Don't do it, Bill. Don't do it, buddy. Let's see. The Dangler checks in again with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see my signal buffering behind me, and it was kind of happening yesterday too. Thank you for pointing that out yesterday. 5 gifted memberships. I hope my other signal's working better than the one behind me right now. Holy moly, I love the internet. Let me see and close some of this stuff out. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Close that out. Close that out. And let's see, while we acknowledge, thank you for the 5, let's acknowledge that Daniel August caught one of them. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Daniel August is normally here like every day, hit me up with 20s. So I'm glad that Daniel August caught one of them. And boy, I wish my shit would fix itself behind me real soon. Care Bear, a.k.a. Wendy Pack caught one of those. Flex 316 says, I take the truck. You just take the whole truck of the supplies. Cupcakes Corner, American Cup. American Cupcake caught one, as well as Nimrob, a.k.a. 2K. Douche the Dabble versus Laughing, which is a good thing. I'm going to remind you to subscribe to Andrew's solo channel, my friend Andrew the Giant 96. I'm still not sure why that thing's buffering behind me. Nimrob is getting the cheers and the skull from Douche the Dabbleverse. Nimrob has a member. He can now officially say he has a member somewhere. The Rem Wild Bill says, you're doing great on live. No buffering. Thanks, Wild Bill, for letting me know that. I don't know why that's doing that behind me. You straighten your shit out, you fucking, let me see. Flex 316 says, think about that Tiptoe as a backdrop to like Dexter, right? If they were playing something, as something maniacal's going on, you can see Tiptoe Through the Tulips would fit very well with any maniacal scene. Flex 316 does agree that it fits. Cupcake is getting the love from Douche of the Dabbleverse. Hey, Cupcake from Space Cheap 75. Spawn checks in and says, I want to check out Replayables and Sports Heads. Can we get an ad read? Anytime you need a hand in the sports shit, feel free to hit up Spawn, my friend. All right. I'll do these one at a time. So for my first ad read, if you want like an ad read, I kind of did it already at the beginning of the show, but tonight, Spawn, if you have the opportunity tonight after you get off of work, this is midweek, right? So you can't wait till Friday or Saturday to have fun, right? So we do it on Wednesdays. So Wednesday nights on 8 o'clock on the Levyverse channel. That's Bob Levy's channel right here on YouTube. That's where we drink, smoke, laugh, and joke during the week, my friend. 8 o'clock East, 5 Pacific. So that's like a midweek hangout when you can't wait to have fun. And then on Saturdays, we do it at 10 o'clock. So that way everybody can have like a nice, good weekend day, get all your stuff done around the house and hang out with your family. And when you're done doing all that and you want something fun to do when you're plain old exhausted and don't want to do any more, just hang out, you check out Replayables at 10 o'clock East on the Levyverse also. And we do the same thing. We have a party. So yeah, 8 o'clock tonight or 10 o'clock Saturday, both on the Levyverse. And then we'll get the sports heads down the road. What Nimrob is 2K? Docs, you told the world, Terry Nee. Look at him doxing somebody. Thank you for, I don't know if, Terry, if you were early enough, brother, but I've already showed you a gay cruise commercial twice. Clyde Cyke says, by the way, don't miss tomorrow's BF Live. I have a new take on Basil Marceau. You won't want to miss. And let's just say he makes iguanas angry. Well, so if you already have a different take on Basil Marceau, I have one in my mailbox that's a real different take. And of course, you know, because you did it. You did it, Clyde, and your guys aren't going to believe what mix he did today on Cyke Labs content. Another one from the twisted mind of Cyke Labs is what I've been saying a lot. Check out Scott Fitzpatrick. Terry Nee, a great work man on the gay cruise. Good day, Space Chief 75 from Flex 316. Hoya from See This. How you doing? What's up, Cetus? Let's see. Hoya, Terry Nee from the Red and Wild Bill. Levy it to Beaver. That's pretty funny. Leave it to Beaver. What do you think, Bob?
Shut the fuck up.
Two Joints said it. Space Chief 75. Hoya from the Reverend Wild Bill. Docs, he told the world. Flex is getting the love from Space Chief 75. Docs, LOL, some Cetus. Dangler checks in and says, hope there is a video of Basil talking about birds. Hey, Rev from Space Chief 75. Two Joints knows about the docs going on. You sold me, Bobby. Hook, line, and sinker. Fished in. I got him. I got one on the line. I'm sitting in a sim rig playing FPS, watching this too. I'm not sure I like hearing the guys talk about their rig, but since it's a game rig, I'll accept it. Terry Nee, crazy man, says Jerry Lahane checking in. LOL Cyke from Cetus. Hump Day with the gay flags. Basil rule, and Basil's going to have a friend in this commercial is all I'm going to say. That there's someone that looks very familiar that's going to be in the commercial with Basil, and that's the only clue I'm going to give you. You did it, Clyde, says the Red and Wild Bill. Gay Terry. Gay Terry says Flex 316, and to that I say,
Hello, Frisco.
you're going to love it, Space Chief 75, as Clyde assures you. Dangler checks in and says, hump day, hump gay, Terry Nee. Mosier R9 says, Flex 316. Spawn says, just a pinch of basil with that batch of meatballs. My recipe is tits. What did you shoot? What did you shoot, Cyke? Cyke is laughing. Good day, I meant Flex 316. And you know what, folks? At 44 minutes into the first hour BF Live, that is the end of the opening chat family check-in. It's time to get on to some other fun.
Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
Hell yeah, talk amongst yourselves. Talk with me in the place to be. BF Live Stream Show 155, holding it down for you in the midday right here. And I wouldn't be any other place. Let's see. We got Flex checking in with the LOLs. We got the BRBs just checking in with the boss. The boss has become an integral part of your conversations lately. What do you say, Tan Mom?
I never left.
Tan Mom never leaves, so you're going to have to work harder to keep up with Tan Mom. I shot 100 yesterday. It was rough. Holy shit. You shot a 100 on a golf course?
4!
Man, I hope par, but what was par? Jesus. Let me see. 245 here. Forgive me, LOL. I love that Flex 316. I love that visual of just knowing that someone is on a whole other part of the planet at 2:45 in the morning into the next day enjoying this show. Thanks for hanging out with us, brother, and the gifted memberships. Awesome shit, man. That's some dedication to some fun. I normally shoot high 80s or 90s, says our friend.
4!
Says Cyke Clyde. Two Joints says it was the wind, Cyke Maine. Flex says we will have to show you all my new home. Yeah, that would be great, Flex. And Two Joints is getting the last from our friend Clyde Cyke. All right. Well, I always prepare a couple news stories. I go out and rustle up a couple news stories. I like to go over my fancy news desk studio since I went through all the trouble to build it. And I like to present some news stories here, some other news, because you know the world is serious enough. Everybody knows where to get their serious news. But we do the other stories because there's other shit going on than just serious stuff in the world. So we do the BF Live other news or the BF Live not so serious news. And would you give me some more coffee? Oh, hey, I'm here, everybody. Hey, I'm at the news desk. Hey, I was just talking to my news intern. I need some more fucking coffee over here. wench. Let me see. No, we're here. I'm here in my spacious new studio, so I might as well read a couple stories with you since I have a nice studio. Level 2 joints. It's on the lake, so I had one in the water. Oh, one in the water says 4. He said one in the water says 4. Oh boy, got any in the rough? I'm gonna get in your rough, baby. Kofifi. Spawn says, I always think my phone is ringing when the news segment occurs. Well, come on. No, that means it's time. And I know, like I said, and I always like to acknowledge BF Live. We're worldwide, baby. Okay, so I like to acknowledge some of our friends on the other side of the pond with stories, and I have one for you right here. And guys, I want Dang Lizard and all of our friends, and everybody can kind of put their 2 cents on this. But I understand that there's some serious taxing policy going on, proposed taxes on drinking over in England. And so this is called the 5-pint policy. And this guy, Jay Chan, he used to work for Parliament, I believe. And it says Jay Chan, it says 5 key policy principles I advocate for my campaign for a better deal for British pubs by downing a pint in all 650. So my dude, in order to raise awareness about all of these taxes, potential taxes on beer and pubs, this guy's going around and he has a proposal. He's going to drink at 650 bars. He wants a fair tax for pubs, number 1. He's proposing that you scrap a 20% value-added tax. My God, how can they stay in business? A 20% value-added tax put on food and drink sold in pub but not in supermarkets. I don't know how these places can survive. 20% to go to a pub with food just because it has food. They also want to reduce the alcohol duty from 30% for all drinks sold in pubs by 30%. They want to keep their heritage pubs safe by introducing interim protection to buildings pending to be listed on as allowable to demolish or whatever, historical buildings. They want to do stop pub killing policies, help list pubs, and listen to the pub owners. So let me see. 2 joints checks and it says value added is straight robbery. I'm glad we got some opinions coming in. Australia has the best drinker in history as a leader. Terry Nee says, you said duty. I did say duty. Let me check out. I'm going to see what my friends are saying about this. I tee off in 30 minutes. We'll have fun. I like a game at 9 with a cart. All right. Value-added tax is straight robbery, 2 joints said. We got some of those. I did say duty. And Flex316 just says, Bob Hawk. I know his brother Mike. He was in the chat yesterday. So there you go. These are from my friends in England. I know we got New Girl. We do have people over in the UK that watch, but I was wondering how kind of these pubs, and they're talking about maybe a £8. A pint might go up to £8 or £10. Can you imagine going to a pub and effectively spending $8 or $10 for a single beer at a pub? That sounds ridiculous. Here she is. Where have you been? What have you been doing? Nerd checking in and saying good morning from the PNW. That's the Pacific Northwest. Flex316 getting the love. Good day from Space Nerd. UK, man, that's Flex. He's down under. Hoya, 2 joints from Space Nerd. Space Nerd's getting the Gano from 2 joints. And Gano from Space Nerd. All right, well, we are in the middle of the BF Live other news, or not so serious news. So I figured I'd start you off with that one because I have sympathy for our friends over across the seas. And also, I hope you make out well with that and they don't overtax your fun over there. We can't have people in England watching replayables being highly taxed on their alcohol. So I wanted to make everybody aware of that story. In the second story, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more. This second story says, I think I got a commercial running. Certainly do. Oh, I can go past it. It says, in this second story I have in the BF Live other news, construction project unearths millions of fossils beneath a Los Angeles high school. So they're building a high school. It says the discoveries include sharks, shorebirds, mammals, and saber-toothed salmon, with the oldest remains dating to almost 9 million years ago. So apparently they found quite the cache of underwater skeletons and stuff like that, fossils. In this picture right here, it says a vertebrate fossil of an extinct dolphin species found at this job site. And I'll read you a little bit about it because it says millions of years ago, Los Angeles was underwater. In fact, the land where the city lies today was submerged for most of its geological history. And now a local high school has gotten a powerful reminder of that fact. Construction work at the Pedro High School on the Palos Verdes Peninsula revealed millions of marine fossils beneath its campus that testify to the region's aquatic prehistory. In a quote, they go on to say, "There's never been this type of density of fossils ever found at a site like this before in California." Wayne Bischoff, the director of cultural resources for Envirocom Corporation, who managed the excavated fossils, tells the Los Angeles Times, Jared Dang, "It's the largest marine bone bed found in Los Angeles, instead of San Francisco, maybe, in Los Angeles and Orange counties." So literally, like, millions of fossils were found in what used to be an ocean. This school, the excavation work, which began in 2022, revealed 3 distinct fossil sites: a layer of 120,000-year-old shells from the Pleistocene epoch, an 8.7 million year old bone bed containing fish and marine mammal remains from the Miocene epoch, and an 8.9 million year old layer from the phosphorus-rich rock that revealed evidence of volcanic activity. Now that the construction is completed, scientists have begun the arduous process of studying tons of paleontological material unearthed from the site, including remains of sea turtles, birds, fish, sharks, dolphin, whales, invertebrates, plants, and the megalodon. So there you go. So yeah, I'm surprised that really doesn't happen more, but you know.
I like turtles.
I like turtles too. All right, so there's my second story in the BF Live other news, or the BF Live not so serious news. Let's see if people have some words to say about that. I had an appointment yesterday. I missed all of y'all. I guess that's a good excuse. Let me check. Judges, that's a good excuse. Yes, medical clearance is okay. All right, you're allowed. It's allowed. Space Nerd is getting the love from Space Chief 75. Spurs from Space Nerd. Wow, that is cool, says Space Nerd. Simon, extra tax for LA. Space Nerd says, let's not build a school on top of it then. Well, I often wonder that, Space Nerd. I mean, obviously, all of the Earth was covered up with something else before we all got here. So, yeah, I guess you really can't know what you're covering up until sometimes maybe you find it, kind of like they did. But it sounds like they went ahead, built the school, took the stuff out, and they're just going to examine it all after the fact. Well, there has. Dinosaurs cause global warming. Those bastards. Water? Yes, water. Bone. I said bone bed. Is that your bone bed, or you just happy to see me, baby? Yeah. I got a bone bed for you. They need to name that school something rad, like Prehistoric High or something like that, man. Let's get Prehistoric High over here. Yeah, that's what people will be doing. That's probably why they won't call it Prehistoric High. Be like, come on. I attend Prehistoric High, man. Yeah, they find all kind of shit under there, bro. He said bone bed. Yes, I did. Yeah, he said bone bed. Yeah. Hoya Matt from Space Nerd. LMAO Matt, indeed. 250 million years ago, says Flex 316. Me too. I love turtles, says our friend Space Nerd.
I like turtles.
Hoya Space Nerd from Matt. The animals or the chocolates, Space Nerd. They do have those turtle chocolates, don't they? Both 2 joints, she'll let you know. LOL says 2 joints. Well, Nicolas Cage gave them the trek back to the lost 750 million. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nicolas Cage. Pamela Anderson. Let's see. Spawn says, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, Bobby and homies. Hoya. Spawn. You know what to do, right? It's midweek. It's going to be 8 o'clock on the East Coast, right? So that should be late enough in the night for you that you can join us on Replayables right here on the Levyverse channel on YouTube. I hope to see you in the chat tonight. Let's party, buddy. Have a good rest of your day at work while I continue with some other stories here. Keep me in your ear like you did on other days as I tell you my next story in the BF Live Other News right here, or the Not So Serious News. In this next story I have, it says the world's largest cheesecake served at Cream Cheese Festival in New York City. New York City! Now, I like me some cheesecake, y'all. Some of you that watch regularly might know me to be a picky eater, which I am, but I like me some good old cheesecake, and then it doesn't have to have the strawberries or none of the nuts and all that shit. I want cheese and I want cake. I don't want none of that other shit. So they made a world record Philadelphia cream cheese cake. It says an annual cream cheese festival in Lowell, New York hosted a successful Guinness World Record attempt featuring a 15,008-pound cheesecake. The Kraft Heinz plant in Lowville set the record for the world's largest cheesecake at the festival in 2013, but was beaten by a team from Russia who made the 9,347-pound cheesecake in 2017. Derek Langdon, the quality manager at Kraft Heinz, said he and his team decided to smash the previous record at this year's festival. In his quote, he says, "If you're going to beat it, you might as well go big," Langdon told WWNY-TV. "We decided we're going to smash the record, make it almost twice as big as the last one. If we're going to beat it, then they have to really go big. It was go big." A Guinness World Records adjudicator was present for the cheesecake's unveiling and confirmed its weight and at 15,008 pounds, more than enough to reclaim the title. America, bitches! We don't do Russian cheesecake here. We dominate the cheesecake market here in America and all the records. Lots of cream cheese on that cruise. Wait a minute. We're back at the cruise again with the cream cheese. I don't know about that. Let me see. Ooh, man cheese. Let me see. Terry Nee says 50,000 pounds of graham cracker crumbs, maybe, perhaps. Love it, but intolerant. Oh, okay. Oh, you have that? You have an issue with that? Sounds amazing. Says 2 joints. Love cheesecake. Give me a fork. Says Space Nerd. I can't now. Got like 250 back, but I'm going backwards a little bit. All right, we got that. So we're caught up with the Hoya Nerd from Ding Dong, aka Mr. Cyke. Let's see how many more stories I have left for you. Okay, I have one more kind of regular official story, and as always, what I like to do lately is tag on a miserable news history moment at the end of the news. That is when Bob Levy will attempt to read the news from the Miserable Men days on Sirius Satellite Radio. In my last story that I have for you, though, this is kind of current in that we were wanting to see this fight coming up with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. It was supposed to happen in July, but then Mike Tyson had a health concern. He had an ulcer, so they said, and he wasn't quite ready for the match. But if you remember, he was training like a madman leading up to that July match, until he had some kind of health issue. He had an ulcer that kind of had the similar kind of symptoms of a heart attack, and they didn't want to risk it, so they postponed the fight until November. So I'm looking forward to this one. But check out this. It says Jake Paul's belly raises questions after a bizarre workout video ahead of the Mike Tyson fight. So Jake Paul is still training and all, but let me see. He's got some kind of... Look at this. Look at the belly here, folks. There's some kind of weird details in the ad. We'll see if we can. I can make it bigger. That's what she said. Can you make it bigger? That's what she said. Dong. I think so too, Flex. I think it was, but yeah, because look at the what he went through to do it. So yeah, I think he's definitely trying to like regenerate some lost heat for the match. Let me stop sharing. Let me go back again, and I'll read you the article a little bit. We'll get a little bit of the detail out of kind of what was going on in that video right there. And it does say, yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight. I don't know. I want to see, I think somebody, even though I respect what Jake Paul's doing, because at least he's boxing, he's training and taking these things seriously. But at the same time, like, this isn't really his lane. So at some point, you figure somebody's going to get the best of him. And I think if anybody would, it would probably be Mike Tyson. So it says, Jake Paul raised questions about his appearance after posting a video lifting weights while shirtless recently. The Instagram video shows the YouTuber turned pro boxer who's training for his fight against Mike Tyson on November 15th, setting a new personal record by bench pressing 500 pounds. However, fans seem more interested in his stomach, which was pushed out and missing a few of his tattoos, and he was apparently wearing a fake belly. I don't know if there was a benefit for this, or if he did the fake belly for a troll, or if there was a exercising thing. I'm not sure. He was just playing, and I don't like this. Well, I mean, you gotta admit, bro, that Jake, this is how he got famous, being viral. So this is kind of his lane more than boxing. He's doing his part to kind of generate more heat for this fight again, because it kind of lost its heat a little bit. He says he's had the stomach, with a fake belly. He says, new PR, 500 pounds. Paul said, I'm the strongest heavyweight in existence. So I don't know if he was, yes, just 1,000% trolling. I thought it may be like an exercise thing, Flex, where he was kind of increasing the stresses on his body while he does his workout, so that when the stuff is off of his body, he'll be that much more kind of agile or whatever. I was just thinking, but it could be just straight trolling. But here's the picture of it, and He has that gut. It just looks so weird. Like, what a weird way to troll. I don't know. It says, there's another pic. There's more pictures. I want to make sure I get. You can see, right, you saw that in the video. His belly's sticking up, and then he's all pumped up. And I think there's a picture here that's there. Like, here's what his tattoo should look like. I can't make it any bigger. That's what I told her. Let me see. So, yeah, the tattoos do look a little different here than they do on the belly, but they even made a little bit of an effort to put some tats on the belly, on the top, right there, on the top part of the belly, and connect it and all. So it's just a weird, odd troll, but I think it really just serves as nothing but to kind of just get some clicks going and get some heat going back for that fight again, is kind of what I chalk this up to, folks. Okay, so now it's that time. Tyson, I don't like it. You don't like it? Yeah, Tyson, Mike Tyson. I don't like it. I'm going to punch his ass. I'm going to beat his ass just for doing that stupid shit. I'm going to beat his ass. Let me see. Honey Nut Cheerios are legit, says our friend 2 Joins. Gimme Beso says people are arching their stomachs when doing chest presses now, really? Like just pushing out. That is so weird, Gimme. $100 bet. Anyone think it's real? Well, they kind of say as much. They almost admit as much in the article that it's not real or anything, but I was just trying to understand his motivation more for it. Was it strictly for the troll, or is he getting some kind of enhancement? Like I said, that when he takes the weight off of him, he'll be like more agile and stuff, more, be able to move around a little more swiftly. Well, bench. Okay, folks, so now it's that time for Miserable News History Moment. We're going to take you back to 2007 and the classic days of the Miserable Men Show on the Howard Stern channel, Howard Stern 101. They used to do that show back in the day. And it was Shuley and Mike Morse and a lot of the guys that you kind of know. And Bob Levy would be the designated newsman. So for fun and for nostalgic purposes, if you know about it, we relive these. And if you don't, you're hearing it for the first time. That's the purpose of this. That's why we tag it on at the end of the news. This is the BF Live Miserable News History Moment from October 14th in the year of 2007. Compliments of Cyke Labs right here on BF Live.
And now it's time for Miserable Men News with your anchorman, Bob Levy.
Good evening, folks. Here's another news story. Japan officials edited Wikipedia at work, Tokyo. Japan's agriculture ministry reprimanded 6 bureaucrats.
Reprimanded? Not reprimanded. Reprimanded.
I'm a bureaucrat. After an internal probe found that they spent work hours contributing to Wikipedia on topics unrelated to farm issues. One of the 6 focused solely on Gundam, the popular long-running animated series about giant robots popular amongst school children as well as adults known otaku nerds. The
I don't know what that was.
The agriculture minister is not charged of Gundam, said minister official
Gundam style. Gundam style.
Amu Shimori. The other 5 bureaucrats scolded from striking their duties, focused their contributions on movies, typographical mistakes, on billboard signs, and local politics. Shimori said. The minister verbally reprimanded each of the 6 officials and slapped a ministry-wide order to prohibit access to Wikipedia at work, while disabling access to the site from the ministry. Shimori said. Question 1: what is the name of the anime series about giant robots?
What was it?
The what?
What was that's a question.
What was the name of the animated series about giant robots?
Yeah, that you just read. See, this is what we're doing.
I have no idea.
We wanted to see if you actually retain any of the information from the news story you read.
Which ministry did the bureaucrats work for? I have no idea. And that's what I got. Holy shit.
Oh, fabulous. That's great. Mike came up with a great idea to test Bob, see if he retains any of the news story, and nothing.
And there you have it. compliments of Cyke Labs. That was our miserable news history moment I tag here on the end of the BF Live other news we like to do. And now I got to play this by request machine.
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look in the book. Reading Rainbow. I can go anywhere. Friends to know and ways to grow. Reading Rainbow. I swallow Is that a fucking kid's book? Friends to know and ways to grow. Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow. I'm reading. I'm swimming. I'm a bat in the pool. Look at me go. Levy is such a stupid name.
It might be, but we love you anyway, Bob Levy. Ha ha. I had to throw that out for my friend Flex316. So there you have it. That was the BF Live other news with a miserable news history moment tagged on at the end of it. But now it's time to get on some other fun stuff here on BF Live. But that was the other news. All righty then, folks. Look at that. It is 8 minutes after the 1 o'clock right here where I'm at on the East Coast of the United States. That means we're 8 minutes into hour number 2 of 3 hours of live content. I like to bring you here every day on BF Live. So what we're going to do Cyke Labs leading up to 1:30 in the piss break. And probably right around that time, our guest will be joining us, Dillon From Somewhere. We're going to get to know Dillon a little better, find out how he got his involved in this whole kind of Dabbleverse thing, podcasting in general, just get to know him in general. And then we're going to kind of dig a little deeper on one of our favorite topics, Aaron from Steel Toe, because he does like the St. Cloud divorce show or whatever that he does there on his channel. So Dillon's going to tell us some of the shows he does. He does TikTok around the clock. He's going to let us know about all the stuff he does over there. But we're really going to key in on Aaron and his level of delusion because it's chef kiss. I hope Aaron never stops talking. I bet Dillon does too. And we're going to find out when he joins us. Let's check in. LOL. Flex316 says, God love him, talking about Bob Levy. The lovely, look who's coming in. Tracy's coming in. Hey, Tracy. Tracy would know that Shuli sounds different because Tracy is longtime chat family ever since Shuli made his move from Sirius Satellite Radio and we would hang out on those fun Tuesday night shows. Tracy has been chat family. How you doing, Tracy? Great to see you on the day side. Space Chief 75 checks in and says, it's awesome that these are preserved. Way to have foresight to get them, Cyke. You know, Cyke, Space Chief, you're not wrong, buddy. And I've told Cyke as much. You know, I would dare to say that back in 2007, the hard drives and the computers and everybody's saving stuff, it wasn't quite the regular kind of thing that it is now where almost anybody can and does do it and save shit on their hard drive. And so, yeah, Cyke had like some special vision and love and dedication for all of this stuff that he decided to like save it and preserve it for us. And I know that you're glad that he did, as I am. Johnny A checks in and says, Levy from 07, yes, the one and only, the Reverend Bob Levy from back in the Miserable Men days, and Cyke has preserved all this so we can share it with you nowadays. What's up, Johnny A? Tracy is so much younger. That's crazy. He's crazy. Space Chief 75 says, Bob Levy is an American hero. U.S., he put tags at. Bob Rock says, Johnny A. I'm a bat in a pool. Look at me go. Levy is such a stupid name. Dillon on salmon is tasty. Not Dillon on salmon. Dillon from somewhere. And there's his link running in the chat where you can catch him. Oh my. Musculature. The toe owes me money. Well, we're going to talk about that, Flex, because everything is so goal-oriented. I don't know how these great clippers like Real Media Player and all the guys, I don't know how they sit through all of the goal talk. I watched just the clip versions of these shows, and I can't tolerate the goal talk. It's ridiculous. We're going to talk about that. Cyke, there's his link right there. Smirknick's text in and says, Tracy is a great person and a wonderful friend. You say she's just a friend. You say She's just a friend. Judge Johnny checks in and says, salmon, so good, that and tuna. Douche says, oh, cool, I made it back before Dillon started. That's right. He's coming in the second half of BF Live. You might know already that I like to do 3 hours of content here. And typically, exactly halfway through, I figured out that I need to take a piss break at 1:30. So he's going to join us for what is basically the second hour of BF Live, second half. Brian Kowalczyk checks in, the bro. He says, good afternoon, BF and the gang. How you doing, Brian? You know this is the afternoon hang. Thank you for saying that this is a good afternoon hang for you. Spurk Snake says, Dot, that great song, You Are Champ. Dot, that great champ. What up, Brian? From Spurk Snake. Hoya Brian from Johnny A. And 2 joins is giving the love, saying Hoya to Brian K. And Johnny says, thanks for sharing. All right, so here we go. What are we going to get into now? We got into that. I think it's time, folks. We are at that point in the show. Like I said, it is 12 minutes. Now it's 12 minutes after 1 o'clock, and we're making our way up to the piss break and our guest. But before we do all that, we have more fun, and I got more great stuff from the twisted, demented mind of Cyke Labs.
Cyke.
Hell yeah, I'm dancing. We're doing it. I'm so pleased to see that there's at least 25 of you here. I would certainly appreciate it if you hit that like button on the way in or the way out from wherever you're watching. And you might be watching it from YouTube today, from BF Live on YouTube. You might be watching it from BF Live on Rumble, or perhaps my personal Facebook. I appreciate a like or a share wherever you're at. Thank you very much. Let's keep on having fun. I rolled the thing, so that means it's time for Cyke Labs. So this is what we do. I go back and kind of find the best one, the latest and the greatest from Cyke Labs. And then I always end with the very latest and the newest thing that Cyke Labs has made for us from the twisted mind of Cyke and Cyke Labs. So let's go back a little bit and hit a couple of these. And I like playing, like I said, I always like playing them again if you saw them, because you can't see them enough because they're so good. So we're going to watch them again. And hopefully, if some of you haven't seen it already, you're going to see it for the first time right now. Cyke Labs from the twisted mind. Here comes some Cyke Labs content. Let's check it out. Everybody's kung fu fighting, even Bob Levy the midget.
So what's up, guys? Tuturuan ko kayo balo mag-karate. Iduwa? How's yours? Oh, gori. Sipa. Oh, alon talan. Sa mamda, azon tam pala. Ujir tam kalo. Fighting. Oh, we. Oh. Idu siya mawila no. I know. Oh. Tamiliatamenta, breo.
Oh, that's right, Spacey. You were a doctor the other day.
Oh,
I respect the reverse worm game. That is some good shit right there. Bob Levy the midget doing karate. Where else are you going to find that? From the twisted mind of Cyke Labs, and see it here on BF Live. Flex is laughing. Sykes, Franklin, Hack Ride are damn funny. Franklin and Hack Ride are damn funny. Franklin Sheckler, Cyke, and Hack Ride. Bob's doing the worm. Space Nerd's laughing. I'm glad that you're enjoying that. Oh my God, says the Deuce of the Dabbleverse. Levy's final form. LOL says 2 joints. Stuttering John has been working out, I see. Says Brian Kowalczyk. Johnny A. agree. Johnny says about Cyke, Franklin, and all those guys. He's so cute and cuddly, says the douche of the Dabbleverse. Back it up, says Flex. Okay, we'll do it one more time because, yeah, I did play it twice yesterday because sometimes at first you got to be like, first of all, what in the hell am I looking at? Bob and a midget, and what am I even seeing? So I don't mind playing it again. So let's back that thing up and let's show it one more time because I know people didn't even see it the first time yesterday. Hear it again. Cyke Labs, little midget Bob kung fu fighting.
So what's up, guys? Tuturuan ko kayo balo mag-karate. Iduwa? How's yours? Oh, gori. Sipa. Oh, alon talan. Sa mamda, azon tam pala. Ujir tam kalo. Udrohovik. Oh, we.
I got it wrong, and then I respect the reverse worm.
Oh,
I ain't never seen nobody do the reverse like this. Look at this. He's like, he just tumbling. And then, come on, get it, Bob. Oh, reverse worm. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kicks were fast as lightning right there. Thank you. Reverse worm. I like that new Shuli stream raid. I enjoy that too, Johnny. I enjoy that for something different. Matter of fact, I do shows, and then when I jump off of them, I'll see that they're doing the raid, and like I don't even jump in the chat. I'll just see who they're raiding, and I'll jump in whoever they're raiding, buddy. So I did that like 2 nights ago. I didn't even like jump in the actual raid chat on the Shuli network. I just like looked in and looked for the picture, and I'm like, okay, that's who we're raiding, and I did a couple of the raids thing, so that is kind of fun. Tracy, Hoya, and Gano from 2 Joints. Tracy's getting the love. We got the reverse worm. He has little monkey feet. What do you think about that, Bob? I didn't say it. Douche of the Dabbleverse said that shit. Let me see. Wall break. Yes, he was wall breaking. The raid, says Flex316, talking about that. VTL, after a few Gerber low mains, no AI. What do you think about that, Vince? But you got to admit, it was pretty cool to look at, though, wasn't it?
I'd rather look at a big black cock.
Yeah, you probably would. Let me see. The raid is fun, Flex316 lets us know. Live Ween, we are doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Arthur Ashe died of raids. Not exactly. But let's see. Okay, so like I said, we're in the middle of a Bob Lever, not just Bob Lever, Cyke Labs content. And this has been getting a great reaction. I don't know where you people get these vibes from me, but I guess it's funny. And it must be funny because it's come the twisted mind of Cyke Labs. Here's me and Chris Abels in a Delta Airlines commercial.
Pride for me is not being ashamed of being gay anymore. Delta supports everyone of every group, whether you're gay, whether you're straight.
I started in the women's uniform. I didn't feel like it was me. Once I made the switch to the men's uniform, I can't even like describe how I feel and how
I feel macho.
It helps me feel confident in who I am. Every day when a male flight attendant meets me and I'm wearing my vest and my tie, I always say, "Hey, twin," like that.
I'm a little upset because you look better than I do in the male uniform.
Fucking Abel.
That's right. There you go. There's another twisted one. So apparently I'm a gay flight attendant for Delta Airlines, me and Chris. Oh, hey, twin, says 2 Jonathan. Oh, hey. I just didn't feel right in the ladies, so I was like, I need to be in the men's one. Let me see. Bobby looks like a very nice grandma. I resemble that remark, Dream Man. 666 and bones up to you, my friend. Flex316 is laughing, which is a good thing. LOL, says Flex. 2 Joints was laughing. Great shit. Great fun stuff. What's with the mini Hitler stash, dude? You talking about on that chick or whatever? You talking about this? I keep this one right. Let me see. Johnny says, yeah, done 100 hundreds of raids, but on Twitch streamer logs off, Shuli stays on. Okay. Yeah, like some of those people can tolerate those raids better. Like some of them roll with it, as you can see, and that's part of the fun is seeing how somebody that just only had 2 or 5 people in their chat, how they react when they suddenly get 100 or more. And some of the reactions have been really funny. Some people roll with it real good and accept the super chats well, and the other ones are like, oh, we got to figure out how to block these this is getting crazy, and they all of a sudden trying to figure out all of their mod controls during a live show. So if you ever get a chance to check that out on the Shuli Network, check out some of the raid shows. That's where they go. They find like somebody that only has 2, 3, 5 people on, and they kind of go give them a boost. It's all in good fun. Just fucking, which says Flex 316. That's okay, because I might have some Hitler shit to show you from the twisted mind of Cyke Labs after Dillon gets here. I'm sure that I do. Gold Cyke, says our friend Deuce of the Dabbleverse about your stuff. 2 Joints, good morning, bud, and 666 from Dream Man. It's all in good fun, and we love it. That's right. That's right. Man, come on. You can't hurt my feelings. Can't hurt my feelings. I love this shit too much, man. This is fun shit. And speaking of fun shit, I got more stuff to show you right here. Let's go with, we got Mike Morse and all of these talented men on the Miserable Men show. But now we're going to feature a little bit of Mike Morse here from the Cyke Labs content. This is Pros and Cons with Mike Morse, taking you back to the Miserable Men days from October 14th, 2007.
It's time for Pros and Cons. Pros and Cons.
Hello, I'm Mike Morse, and I'm Mike Morse. Welcome to Pro and Con. The topic tonight is blumpkins. A blumpkin is when a guy gets a blowjob while sitting on the toilet taking a shit. This is just crazy. Me, I always worried that if I wore the wrong type of cologne, a broad would be too turned off to go down on me. So, I'm pretty sure that the vile stench coming out of my ass during a dump ain't gonna put her in the mood to give my helmet a tongue bath. I say, keep blowjobs where they belong, in the back seat of Paris Hilton's limo. And now, for the pro side, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Let me start out by saying you're an asshole. And speaking of assholes, you know what the second best feeling in the world is? Taking a wicked shit. And what's the best feeling in the world? Right, a blowjob. So, why not combine them? A blumpkin is like the Reese's peanut butter cup of sex. Two great feelings that feel great together. So, if you find a girl willing to give you a blumpkin, marry her. And on your honeymoon, eat nothing but Mexican food. Then put the do not disturb sign on the bathroom door and enjoy. For Mike Morse, I'm Mike Morse.
It's time for Beautiful job, Mike.
Thank you.
It's a new segment we're doing here, pros and cons. Mike Morse.
There you go, pros and cons with his damn self. Mike arguing and rationalizing and justifying things in his own mind with his multiple personalities. This is from Cyke Labs. Let me see. There's a couple of chats that came in, so let me catch somebody in. Let's see. We have Brian saying that would set Grindr on fire. Talking about the Delta video. Well, if you think that'll set Grindr on fire, I'll show you next. Just fucking with you, says Flex. That's okay, buddy. Gold, we got that one. I went up a little too high on good fun. Jake Fire checks in. Hey, Jake. You notice that cool little symbol next to your name, my friend? I believe that you were gifted a membership when you were not here, my friend, just today during the show. BF, how can I contact you in private? And a couple further one down, I will let you know that one of the ways you can contact me is BF Live 420, 420, why did I pick that? At gmail.com. BF Live 420 at gmail.com. Easy enough. You remember me and the show name, 420, I like weed. It's at gmail.com. You can get a hold of me there. Ha ha ha, says Dream Man about that last one. Voter. Live Ween says Gina Carano, the reigning Blumpkin Queen. Ain't that right, Perry?
Shut the fuck up.
I didn't say it. Live Ween said it. Vote says Flex316. JFC. That means, you know what that means, Tracy. Blumpkin, yay or nay. Mike Morse code says 2 joints. Brian Kowalczyk says, yeah, I'm not putting a woman through that. Hey, baby, come in here. I need to ask you a favor. What do you want? Man, just come in here. I'm not pulling your finger. I don't want you to pull my finger this time. Come on. Johnny A says Mike's got musical skills, and we're featuring them right here. Dude Can Sing says Johnny A. Well, we might have a 1 or 2 more things in our Cyke Labs content thing that we're doing here on BF Live. And I see we're making our way to 1:30 in the piss break real quick. And that's probably good because I have at least 2 more pieces to show you. And so it's working out almost as if I know what I'm doing. So you say you like Mike Morse. You say he's talented. I heard the little boop of my guest coming in, so I'm just acknowledging that. Just letting you know that I do see you, my friend. Let's see. Mike Morse, Cyke Labs from back in the day. You say you like Mike Morse. He's talented and he can sing. I got proof of it right here.
It could be a freaky girl or a really fucked up fella. Maybe you like to get tied up and pissed off.
Now the calls are flooding in, by the way.
Ass.
Have you?
Huh? Have I ever shit in a casserole dish?
And there you go. There's a little bit of Mike Morse right there. I'm not playing you my gap band. I'm not playing my early in the morning. I'm not playing my 80s funk right now. Let's see. So there you go. There's some that tells you Mike Morse, talented musical guy right there. What other proof than you need than that? Okay, folks, so hang on tight. It's 25 minutes after the hour 1 o'clock here, which means we're almost approximately exactly halfway through a BF Live show of 3 hours. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you this one more piece of Cyke Labs video. We're going to take the piss break, and after that, we're going to say hello to our friend Dillon From Somewhere. It's all coming up. We're barely halfway done with BF Live. So here it is, folks. Hang on tight. Cyke Labs, the latest piece of crazy content. You ain't going to believe this. And yes, this is our friend. What's this? You'll know who it is when you see it. And self-explanatory. Bob Levy as Marceau and somebody as his wife. Let's see who this is.
Yes, this is DazelMarceau.com. The write-in candidate for Governor of Tennessee.
The write-in candidate for Governor of Tennessee.
I want to introduce you to my wife, Fatanos. They have this suffice for you.
Oh, shit, he's got the wife. He's breaking out the heavy artillery here. Here we go. All right. Let's see what she's got to say. Maybe she can get him elected.
HazelMarceau.com is the name with the solution. You put in the best that you got from my complex, your constitution.
Wait a minute. That's me? Wait a minute. Hold up. I'm his wife?
HazelMarceau.com is the man with the law, and you can bake your breather to fight or your cough. So this is my friend very close to what I have to say, and be there at the polls on the next voting day. HazelMarceau.com is the name with the solution. You're in the best that you got from us to obey your constitution.
Oh, shit.
Write him in.
Damn, I'm a good wife, apparently. I'm making sure.
Yeah, this is Dave.
What in the hell was that I just saw? So that's the kind of stuff that shows up just randomly at all hours of the day and night from my great friend and contributor, Cyke Labs. I'm going to roll for you one more time because I'm sure at first you were like, what the hell am I even looking at? Yes, apparently I am his Marceau's wife.
HazelMarceau.com.
Marceau's wife.
Everybody in candidate for governor of Tennessee. I want to introduce you to my wife, Katanos. They have this to suffice for you.
What is her name? Katanos?
HazelMarceau.com is the name with the solution. You put in the best that you got from my complex, your constitution. HazelMarceau.com is the man with the law, and you can bake your breather to fight or your cough. So this is my friend very close to what I have to say, and be there at the polls on the next voting day. HazelMarceau.com is the name with the solution. You're in the best that you got from us to obey your constitution. Write him in.
Booyah! There you go. So that is the latest and greatest from Cyke Labs. There you go. And of course, I got caught in there, but I wouldn't be any happier to be a part of that. Thank you very much for making me part of that, Cyke Labs, and thank you for all the great, cool content you make for us. Brian Kowalczyk says, get them on replayables. Johnny says, LOL. MSIP, Mike Shitty, Internet Provider, says, great work, Cyke. LOL from Johnny A. Flex lets us know from Down Under that it's 3:20 in the morning. Have fun, y'all. Still having fun, still lurking. Come on. And Space Nerds laughing. And with that, we are at 28 minutes past the hour. So it's time, folks. I'm going to take the piss break. It's 2.5 minutes, and we're going to have a lot of fun on the other side of it with our special guest, Dillon From Somewhere. But right now, folks, it is that time. I'm doing the dance a little bit in my chair. I'm going to get up and stretch my legs and get some circulation in my legs and put some blood back in my butt as we take the BF Live piss break. I'll see you back here in 2.5 minutes with our guest, Dillon From Somewhere.
I think I need a piss break. I'll do the pee-pee dance. I'll do the pee-pee dance. I'll do the pee-pee dance, pee-pee dance. Yeah. Think I need a piss break. I think I need a piss break. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I need a piss break. I do the pee-pee dance. I do the pee-pee dance. Yeah. I think I need a piss break. Oh yeah. I'll do the pee-pee dance. Oh, watch me now. I'll do the pee-pee dance. Come on, give it to me, that pee-pee break. DJ, hook it up. Drop that beat. Yeah. I'll do the pee-pee dance. I think I need a piss break. I think I need a piss break. Yeah. Watch me now. Pee-pee breakdown, pee-pee breakdown. Break it down, pee-pee, yeah. Think I need a piss break. I think I need a piss break. I think I need a piss break. Oh, yeah. Wash your hands. Don't be gross. I know you touched your pee-pee.
That's right. Don't be gross. Be clean. We're back, folks, from the BF Live Pittsburgh, and we're here for the second half of BF Live, right on time, almost as if I know what I'm doing. So, folks, I want to bring in our guest now. Here's a guy I've gotten to know throughout, like, watching all our orbit of podcasts and everything, and we've kind of checked in with each other through chats and exchanged pleasantries and all, but I've never had a chance to talk to him kind of directly one-on-one and get to know him a little better, so we're going to do that right now as I bring in our friend Dillon from Somewhere.
Hello, Bobby. Thanks for having me on. Let me know if there is anything up with my sound. I've been having some issues this week. I'm still quite the amateur, and 1 year into my streaming career.
Testes, 1, 2. You get feel for both of them? Testes, 1, 2, 3. You're sounding good, my friend. How you doing today, Dillon?
Doing pretty well. Just got done with my show TikTok Around the Clock, where we check in with TikTok Live, and there are a lot of oddities over there.
Boy.
I had an idea to do that show before Who Are These Socials dropped, and then once Blind Mike and Carl started doing that, I'm like, oh, I need to find a different spin on that so it's not the exact same as what they're doing over there.
Right. So you do TikTok Around the Clock is what you call it, right?
Yes. TikTok Live, 2 different times around the clock we check out, and my algorithm is quite odd. It's actually a spin-off from Stuttering John's Shuley Detractor Show.
Okay.
I kept that up for a couple weeks. It was actually John coming back that made that show stop being fun for me and made me tap out really quick. One of the first things he did when he came back over a year ago now was block me. He did not like, I guess it was a Photoshop that he saw that I tagged him in, that he was like, oh, this is a fucking troll.
Oh, my God. Imagine that. Now, they're happening by the minute almost nowadays, so good luck for him trying to battle all those. But that's what I've noticed about you, Dillon, my friend, is that you don't just do, like, one show. Like, I show up here every day, and I do BF Live day after day after day. That's kind of what I do. But I noticed that you have, like, not only do you have TikTok Around the Clock, but you have other theme shows, like the St. Cloud show that you have?
Initially the St. Cloud divorce show, because I thought we were going to be covering that divorce angle for quite some time. That wrapped up really quickly, so I switched the name around to the St. Cloud Moron Show. I found out that Twitch doesn't like the word moron. Twitch doesn't like the word spurg. I had Spurg Snake on an episode of Chatting with Beloved Chatters. That's what I do as an interview show. And you do like a radio show is what you're inspired by. You're doing the 3-4 hours a day, whereas I'm doing a specific topic for around 90-ish minutes, 2 hours. It was around an hour. I got the confidence to start doing 90 minutes on those different shows. The St. Cloud Moron Show, also a spinoff of co-host auditions. I still do that. And that was an episode that a good many people were like, we want more Aaron. So, all right, let's Imholt season is in. It's a big help to getting to monetization of goofing on Aaron Imholt. So a big thanks to him. And it was JJ Dabbles and the Blind Mike Project that got me over that final little hump to get those super chats and memberships.
Right, because you are now past 500 and monetized, so I was glad that's kind of happened in the last couple of months for you. But yeah, maybe they should change. Maybe you could change the name to the St. Cloud Cope Show. Maybe Twitch won't have a problem with the name of Cope, because that's all I think about with Aaron. Like, please never stop talking, because the cope with this guy is tremendous. His spin and his cope, making it sound grandiose that he had to go to appear before a judge. You know, that type of cope. Amazing.
Not just appearing before the judge, but looking so fine that every single police officer and even detractors had to say, you look nice in that shirt.
You are the best dressed potential felon you know that we've ever seen in here. And I believe that it was Melton. Of course, he's always on the case. I believe might have been Melton that pointed out that he must only own one suit, because they went back a couple years to every wedding picture with him in April, and he literally has just that suit on in every picture.
It's a fitted suit, so good for him on keeping that exact same figure throughout the years. I've got a suit that I'm pretty sure doesn't quite fit me anymore. I need to get on that bandwagon of getting rid of the belly. That was this past week's co-host audition of Billy McNeely doing some yoga. I don't think Billy really knows too much about yoga. I think he should be the second mic if we were to do a yoga stream together.
Shit. All right. Well, let's talk about how you got into this everything, because I've gotten to know you maybe as you've gotten to know me just through chats and stuff like that. But I'm always so terribly curious as like what was your kind of to this? Were you a Stern fan? Were you an Opie and Anthony fan? How did you come to be involved in this kind of orbit of shows?
Second generation Stern fan. My dad listened to Stern back in the DC 101 days, and then was very happy when he came back on WJFK 1300 AM.
That's right. I would get that. So I'm in that area, and let's talk about that a little bit too, because I was going to touch on that, because one of the first things I picked up from you were throwing out little references, because I let it out that I'm kind of in the greater Baltimore area, and you have some type of connection to kind of this general area. I don't know how much you want to divulge of that, but what is your connection to the area that you kind of know my references and stuff?
Yeah, I grew up in the small town, Carroll County, Maryland, in between D.C. and Baltimore.
Okay.
Started doing stand-up in that area, and if I was going to pursue stand-up, I shouldn't have moved to L.A. That's like I was starting to get my feet underneath me. There were a couple of people in my last couple of performances that said that it felt like I was finding my voice, and just taking myself out of my comfort zone, knowing what the Baltimore audiences would like, and also just money. You really don't get paid for stand-up for many a year, whereas moving out to Los Angeles, any bum off the street can be a production assistant or a background actor. So that's what I did, and you get paid minimum wage until you get to be a SAG member, which I eventually got. It's funny when you ask the internet, how long does it take to become a SAG member? Oh, regularly somewhere between 6 months and 10 years.
Yeah, well, I know Perry Caravello, he kind of knows a workaround, don't you, Perry?
Shut the fuck up.
We know what you did to get your SAG card. I don't know if you know any of that story, but he did some sexual favors to get his SAG card. We all know
he
that.
Does not like talking about that 1991 story of getting that SAG card.
He does not like that at all. So yeah, okay, so I am familiar with the kind of Carroll County area. So you would kind of like, I'd be doing a show and you would kind of throw little references out there to kind of let me know that you were from this area. So that's kind of how we first got to know each other. So you say you're second generation, so I'm in that signal as well. That's how I got I listened to the Grease Man, if you want to go a little further back than that. I listened to the Grease Man that came out of DC 101, and then I listened to Howard Stern coming out of we had WJFK here, and he was on different stations around this area. So you are a Stern guy, so you know many of the references and John and all that stuff from back in the day.
Yeah, I became an Opie and Anthony fan like after the fact. I was drinking that Stern Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
So him saying, fuck those guys, don't listen to them. I drank that Kool-Aid, and thanks to YouTube for having such a catalog for me to catch up on. I was missing gold. I messed up by not listening to them both.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really available. I don't know about your availability, but until we got Sirius Satellite Radio and Opie and Anthony was on there wasn't really any availability. The only reason I had any awareness of Opie and Anthony because, they were like Howard's sworn enemies. Anyone that dared to step in his radio market, he went scorched earth and just obliterated them, was his pattern, right?
Even on Sirius, I think that you had to have that extra, that special XM upgrade there for a bit once they merged. I was a Bubba guy for a while. Bubba the Love Sponge in the afternoons of Stern. He had a good team behind him. Our buddy Aaron Imholt says that it's Anthony Cumia, Bubba the Love Sponge, and then him. Bubba doesn't seem to have that team behind him anymore. He was really had something great on Sirius, but Brent Hatley left, Manson left. Spice Boy stole his Hulk Hogan sex tape and sold it to the highest bidder. So that team behind him, anytime that I've tried to listen to him, he doesn't have it anymore, the Love Sponge.
Yeah. Well, I think that Bubba, much like many other people like Riley Martin, if you're familiar with, they were drunk on the money that Howard was making because Howard signed that big deal. And so everybody thought that Howard had $50 million sitting around to just throw a couple million to this guy and throw a couple million to that guy. So all of those guys, like Bubba, I think he got caught up in all that too. Like, come on, Howard, come on, go to Tim, man. Come on, go to Tim. Tell him to renew me deal. Come to him. And Howard be on the air every day acting like that he wasn't the guy that could help Bubba. So I remember it kind of got weird there with the negotiations at the end.
Oh, yeah. Sirius did not want to give him any more money. And I thought that he was a great addition to the Howard afternoon and deserved a pay raise. But Sirius said no. And Sirius completely like bungled what they could have had with podcasters. They just shelled out so much money. Eminem, put your name on this rap station. Oprah, put your name on this station and come in like once a year. When they had Bill Burr and Joe DeRosa, Bill Burr does a great show on his own. I love his relationship advice. Same with Patrice. That's two of the rabbit holes
Jim Brewer. They had Jim Brewer for a while. And I used to listen to Jim Brewer on what was that? The comedy channel that they had on Sirius XM or whatever. So
Raw Dog.
Raw Dog. Thank you for helping with my brain cells that aren't working so well right now. Yes, Raw Dog. I love listening to Raw Dog and hearing him do his show and his friends with his basement and everything. So yeah, I never made that observation before, but you're right, buddy. They kind of did have the bones, or they had the pieces of the future, but they didn't quite really know how to put it together and what to do with it. So they let a lot of them go, right?
They weren't giving them a chance. It was the same problem over at XM of giving Patrice O'Neal enough money to do the Black Phillip show to keep him to stick around. And the same problems over on Stern. They just didn't shell out that money to these up-and-comers. Like Joe Rogan was in that sphere. They could have tied him up at Sirius, but they were not giving those lesser-known names
Jason Ellis comes to mind. He was another prominent broadcaster. Jason Ellis.
There's someone who they did get behind. One of the rare cases of them getting behind someone who was up and coming.
Yeah. But yeah, those were great days on Sirius Satellite Radio, and that's why we like playing the miserable. I don't know if you saw the miserable news moment, but we like playing those stuff from back in the day because it was just the Wild West over there. And you kind of felt it and kind of sensed it at the time. Really didn't know how long it was going to last and everything, but it was a great era of radio for sure.
I had a lot of fun working Sunday nights and having the miserable men come on. That was one of my episodes of the Shuley Detractor Show. Is like, why isn't this the Miserable Men Network? You have this goodwill built up towards those people who remember Miserable Men, and just the name Miserable Men, you'll get random people. What the fuck is this Miserable Men?
Yes.
I'm a miserable man.
It was kind of a good response to The View at the time, and I think it goes along kind of what you're saying. I think Tim Sabian seemed like he was kind of overwhelmed or whatever, and just kind of letting anything happen just to keep the boat afloat or whatever. But they talked him into eventually doing that show like 5 days a week. They essentially tricked him into doing that show 5 days a week. But I think that's another case also of like they really didn't know what they had. They were throwing all this stuff at the wall, but nobody really actually knew kind of how to make it get cohesion and turn it into something.
Well, Tim Sabian knew how to get rid of those problems. They were created by man. They can be solved by man.
A great quote. A great quote. And now you're bringing me back the memories of the whole the bathroom card and who shit on when somebody shit on the wall and it ended up being Tim and he didn't want to admit it or something. I was going over that tape like a couple weeks ago and everything. So always, and that's why I tell people nowadays, we were spoiled, Dylan, because we woke up every day to something like that, some kind of fun, zany antics. You never know what you were going to wake up to on those shows.
Even before that, Kirk, Mark, and Lopez on the 98 Rock Morning Show, I absolutely adored. And then Mickey and Amelia, Opie and Anthony shit on them. It wasn't even an official Jocktober. I think Amelia mentioned Opie and Anthony and then got on their radar. But 98 Rock had some really good morning shows that would keep me over on the FM dial away from 1300 FM, AM rather. Elliot in the Morning. I
DC
hated Elliot in the Morning. His laughing at his nonsense, it just was ear poison to me.
It was a schlocky version of Stern, very schlocky, almost kind of in the Aaron kind of realm, if you will. But Amelia's still around. She does afternoons now, and Kirk McEwen, who's been around forever, he's doing like afternoons now. And they got like a whole different. They got with the Justin Scott and Spiegel, they got a different morning show on there. If you're still familiar with kind of the local radio scene and all, so that's what's going on.
Spiegel went out to L.A., then came back and got him a morning show there.
Yeah, and then I think Justin Schlegel? He did the whole kind of LA thing.
Yeah, Schlegel. I'm sorry, Spiegel is the newsman, not the lead. Schlegel.
Yeah, Justin Schlegel went out there and changed his name and all this stuff because they said the name might not fit. Or he did the whole LA thing too, and I think much like him, I related to your story because he told it the same way. It's almost like very much a culture clash. Like the jokes you can get away with and the sensibilities of an East Coast audience are drastically different than that of a West Coast audience.
Yeah, that's I do regret not staying in Baltimore longer for the stand-up. But I had a hell of a time in Los Angeles, being a fly on the wall and learning the film industry. And that's something I'd like to return to, of a producer specifically. I've got a bunch of show concepts. One that I'm starting to feel more passionate about is a comedy game show. I say it's like At Midnight meets The Price is Right. And for I might start saying it's like Kill Tony meets The Price is Right, which it isn't accurate, but that will get someone who's wants, we want to kill Tony. Oh, I've got a stand-up game show. It's not Kill Tony meets The Price is Right. It's At Midnight meets The Price is Right. I've even got the shooting schedule of how to get that done. Being that was something I would do in Los Angeles, of being an audience member when they're looking rush calls.
Seat filler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Essentially.
You didn't get The Price is Right that often, and they wouldn't say exactly what it is, but when they would get the casting notice of, if you can come on down to CBS Beverly, I'm like, oh shit, Price is Right, gonna go see that for free. And I actually sat right next to the person who made it to the Showcase Showdown twice. So I feel like
did you ever get a tag? The big tag with your name on it? Did you ever get that far?
Yeah, I got my name tag. Actually, they always gave us paid people phony tags, and we were not eligible to get up on stage. Those getting a couple of bucks per hour to sit in the audience.
I guess that's only fair and makes sense and all. There you go. Let's see, we got some friends checking in. Gimme Beso says, I remember Elliot in the Morning out of Richmond, awful forced laugh. Kind of like that, like a guy that hits the button too much. Yeah, so we got some people that know some of the area stuff. The Golden Days of Radio, Johnny A says, I heard Bob Barker was hung like a mule.
I heard that too.
The price is wrong, bitch. Let me see. Burr I liked until he pulled his BS on Kumia, says our friend Johnny A checking in. Let's see. All right.
Burr's relationship advice, it became fun. It was like, I'm not seeking these out. People are just sending me emails about relationship advice. And same with Patrice. I didn't agree with everything he said about relationship advice, but I was always entertained by it.
Right. Yeah, Patrice was very entertaining. Wow, so what he did is an actual achievement time-wise. Now we can't make fun of him anymore. He's making it fun that he kind of took the express lane to getting his SAG card. He wasn't waiting no 10 years.
Shut the fuck up.
You just did what you had to do to get that card, buddy. So yeah, you've kind of had an interesting kind of life, I can tell already, and everything. You've already done kind of the LA thing, and so you're doing your shows now. And yeah, like I said, that's the biggest takeaway I took away from your channel, buddy, is that you don't really have one show plugging at it like I do. You're into all these different topics. So do you see kind of yourself like narrowing in on one of these, or if one of them gets hotter than the other, or kind of what is the plan for that? You want to keep doing these different shows?
I enjoy doing the TikTok show and the co-host audition. Those don't pull in a lot of viewers, but I do see co-host auditions as kind of like a pilot for potential further episodes, as it was with Aaron. Another show coming up, a book review of James Rolfe's A Movie Making Nerd, will be coming up in November. I've been wanting to do that for a while, and goofing on James Rolfe is another popular facet of the internet, so hoping that'll pull some views in. I did want to do, what really got me excited to do this streaming was like a Red Letter Media Mr. Plinkett style review of the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. I watched that, and it's baffling. Yeah. And he's got the shooting schedule, the filming schedule still up on his website, so I can see that every single decision he made in that movie was wrong. So I've got copious notes. I've got a script on really... what did I call it? Hindsight rewrite, where I would do like the really in-depth tearing down this movie, and then a final segment of here's what you could have done. And I got preliminary notes as well on One Too Many. James Rolfe is very... anything with like any clips of his movie gets taken down. He is wildly embarrassed by that movie. So that's one reason I didn't tackle that. Another is just the amount of time and effort that editing and putting that together. That's Red Letter Media doesn't do those Plinkett reviews anymore, partly because of the effort that goes into them, and partly because of the YouTube standards changing. You might do all that work, and it's just gone.
That is true, because as we kind of know, anybody that's been on YouTube for a minute knows that what might pass a week or 2 weeks ago may not pass in the future. So if you just leave a show up of something that maybe passed down before, they might change their standards. Yeah, it's a moving mark with YouTube. You never quite know if that show's going to live forever on YouTube.
I enjoy doing reviews, and I was disappointed that successful failures. I was
going to ask you about that. Explain successful failures to people. I've seen an episode of that or two.
Yeah, I had several episodes in a row get taken down, so that's been put on ice for now. That might be a Rumble exclusive once I start going to another place. But movies and TV shows that were artistic successes but commercial failures.
I think that's a great angle, buddy. I like that. I thought that was an interesting angle. I've seen a couple of those shows and all. Yeah.
I was very happy with the Dirty Work episode, and that got taken down immediately. And I do checks with the clips beforehand, and they're like, all right, you can't monetize this, but you can have it on your show. And that happened twice to me, both with Dirty Work and Used Cars, which is a hidden gem. I was happy to introduce that movie to people, and I was also happy to see there were a decent amount of beloved chatters that were familiar with that diamond in the rough of Used Cars. But yeah, both those are now blocked worldwide on YouTube.
Wow. Used Cars isn't ringing familiar to me. Spurksnake says Dirty Work was fun. I enjoyed Dirty Work. I have that on DVD, so I bet that was a lot of fun. Spurksnake also checks in and says Used Cars was a great movie. I'm wondering if that's one.
Yeah, I introduced Spurgsnake to that movie, and he agreed that was a nice hidden gem. It does get a long movie violation, but I find it's acceptable for it going longer than like a good comedy movie, 80, 90 minutes. I haven't seen The Machine yet, but just looking at the runtime, I'm like, it doesn't need to be 2 hours. That seems like an 80, 90, like Tommy Boy, I think is under 90 minutes, and it works just extremely well.
Yeah, that is my critique of the movies that I've been seeing recently, Dillon. I think that my theory is that these studios are giving out this money as they hand over fist to these producers and all. And these producers, it's a no-no that if you get a budget from a studio, you never give it back, because then they'll go, well, next time you really don't need this much movie, right? So none of these producers want to give the money back. So what I believe they're doing is that they're just adding like fluff and filler and making, like you said, a movie that maybe would be good in an hour and a half. They're making them 2 hours and in excess of 2 hours. And that's my biggest complaint. Like, I'll go to a movie nowadays, I'm like, that movie could have ended a half hour ago and it would have been a better movie.
Then you have like the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. I don't think there was a single deleted scene. He's wasted all this money and everything is up on screen. You got to know what we're doing, what we're making, and also why I try to keep my shows to around 90 minutes when I'm solo and 2 hours with a guest. We're talking about one subject and don't want to overstay our welcome, whereas you're doing more of a radio show update with yours, where we're going from topic to topic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember Rob Zombie being on Howard Stern's show talking about Harvey Weinstein, like constantly calling him and bothering him, and his methodology and how he had to play the studio, and kind of, they wanted to see the dailies and stuff like that, and all of the kind of the machinations of all the stuff they had to do to make a movie. He had some fun stories talking about those days of Rob Zombie making movies. I remember that story. Kirk Russell is the greatest actor, says our friend Spurk Snake. I watched Used Cars for the first time in decades about a month ago, and it was way better than I remembered it. And, that's a fair thing, and I like that angle, because I do believe that there are things that maybe didn't do good in the box office or critically, but they are essentially still good movies. So I think that's kind of good that you maybe kind of review these and maybe bring some of these movies to light. I like that.
TV Funhouse was the one that kicked off this idea for me. When Spurgsnake and I started talking about TV Funhouse, and he revealed to me there was only 6 episodes, I was like, no fucking way. Mm-hmm. And going back to it, the network definitely hated that show because it was a spinoff of the Saturday TV Funhouse, the cartoons that would happen on Saturday Night Live.
But very raw, raucous, and raunchy, if you will.
I think they did enjoy those. But the puppets doing cocaine and the puppets freebasing, extracting Christmas spirit from the host and then freebasing it. I believe they hated all of the puppet stuff. They got hookers in New Jersey and had 2 puppets just going at it. I'm looking at that like, oh, this is why it only lasted 6 episodes. Comedy Central was like cartoons making fun of celebrities. Yes. Puppets fucking and doing drugs. Get it off.
Maybe turn into Avenue Q eventually or whatever. I agree, Spurg. Big Trouble in Little China is my favorite movie of Kurt Russell's. Used Cars is a super movie, says our friend Jerry Lahane checking in. You know what? I'm going to have to make sure that, like I said, my memory just isn't failing me. It's not. I don't want to have Used Cars coming to mind, but I am intrigued, and I will go do some research after the show about this. Big Trouble is a classic. The Girl with the Green Eyes, says Johnny A. What do you think about Neil Breen movies? I'm not familiar with Neil Breen. Are you familiar with Neil Breen?
Who am I? Where am I? I haven't watched any of the Neil Breen movies myself. I've seen a couple. Red Letter Media has covered him. Fanboy Flicks have covered Neil Breen movies. He is fun to make fun of, and he hasn't learned anything, but he still keeps making his movies.
Live Wing checks in, and they're rating comedians. They're saying Bill Hicks, Doug Stanhope, and Perry Francis Caramello.
Shut the fuck up.
He's saying you're one of the top 3, Live Wing. You should have dabbled there. Says, I think Used Cars was better the last time I saw it. I was getting a bumpin' while watching it. Well, that certainly made it more fun, I guess. Such a good show, Underage Bichon.
Underage Bichon. We had Triumph the Insult Comic Dog talking about his love for Bichons, and the underage Bichons got him in trouble.
You mean the dog that stole Stuttering John's bit of going out on red carpets? That dog, Triumph the Comic Dog.
You know, he doesn't give me credit. John was never an insult comic. He was just a goof. It was a puppet doing the old insult comedy routine.
I love me some Triumph. Anytime I saw Triumph on a red carpet, you knew it was going to hit. You knew it was going to be some good, funny shit. And he would say some outlandish shit to these celebrities and gave no fucks. Fun shit. And if John ever was outrageous or outlandish, it was only because Howard or Fred or Jackie wrote those lines for him. I remember some of the early days when they would come back in the studio and he'd go, "Why, was that a bad question to ask?" Like he didn't even know enough about his subjects to know whether the questions he was asking when they were going to be offensive. He had no idea. No clue at all.
Robert Schmeigel did a great job. He was great on his feet, whereas John was not able to go off script.
The Ambiguously Gay Duo. That's one of my favorites. I think Schmeigel does that one, right?
Ace and Gary.
Ace and Gary, right. The Ambiguously Gay Duo. And they always end up humping something or straddling something too long. Backdraft was legit, says our friend Two Joints. I haven't seen Used Cars. The Cars fucking parody, I assume. Cars porn parody, I assume. I'm not sure.
I haven't seen that one. I did see a terrible Cars ripoff movie with Jason Mewes, and they had an old actor in it. I can't remember exactly who, but he was getting so old. It sounded like he was underwater.
Oh, no.
You know, when people get so old, it sounds like they're talking underwater.
Oh, no. Yeah, I like me some Jay and Silent Bob. Let's see. They crossed all the lines. Blumpkin. Like Trailer Park Boys, says Johnny A. Neil Breen has been my phone background for like 3 years. My wife hates it, says Space Chief 75 checking in. Ha Space Nerd. Easy with the Stuttering John talk. Fake lawsuits incoming. So Stuttering John is not the least of these characters in the Dabbleverse. I believe that Aaron Imholt is coming a strong second, if not overtaking Stuttering John in the level of delusion in which he lives his daily life. Dylan, what do you think about that?
The wider internet audience didn't really catch on to Stuttering John as they are with Aaron Imholt. The Dark Side Phil audience is catching on to Aaron Imholt. Those detractors are starting to make videos of Aaron as well. Mondays Weekly dropped a video of, I think it's about an hour long, of this is Stuttering John the Lol Cow. Why isn't he more popular? I don't know why the greater internet audience hasn't jumped aboard, but they seem to be starting to get on the Imholt train.
Yeah, He, like I said, he's definitely catching up. And like I said before, just please never stop talking to me, because his level of delusion and cope is just off the charts, man. Like I said, the spinning appearances before judges and all of his legal problems. I've never seen anyone with this level of delusion. So when was your first kind of introduction to this Aaron Steeltoe guy? And I'll tell you mine after that. But when did you first start hearing about this guy? And was it like his regular radio thing, or what was the case?
It was the algorithm in YouTube sending me Darkside Phil detractors. Okay. I went down that rabbit hole, and like Chris Chan, Darkside Phil are two of the more well-known lolcows that the internet really likes picking on. So Aaron was picking on Darkside Phil, and he turned into Darkside Phil, the way that he runs his show, and just begging for more super chats and tips and all of that. And I got bitten by the goal. I know I will be transforming into an Imholt, and I am doing my best to make that a slow transformation, whereas with him, it was really quick, transforming into Darkside Phil and begging for money.
Yeah, I tried to be subtle with it. I mean, we're here for a kind of a reason and all. But yeah, I mean, his endless with the beating of the drum with the goal and everything. But my introduction to Aaron and Steeltoe was kind of through Bob, and mostly through Bob. Bob said, hey, man, I've been watching this Steeltoe morning show, this guy out in Minnesota. He's not bad. Like, Bob can get on air and identify when a guy has some type of mic skills, and maybe he could tell that he was like at least a radio guy and a presenter. And as Bob does, he kind of cast a wide web. And so he kind of was pulling Aaron in and all that stuff, talking about him more. And then all of a sudden, it ended up that Aaron and April are all of a sudden going to go to DabbleCon. And I'm sitting here perplexed going, why would anybody in this universe care about the point of view of Aaron and April from Steeltoe about anything Stuttering John? And I never thought it was a good fit from the start, Dillon.
I was open to them becoming part of it. I never watched a full episode. Darkside Phil is an easy target to go after. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch a full show of Steeltoe, and I never did. DabbleCon I was at. That actually really got me in the mood to start doing some. Well, that's when I started becoming a beloved chatter. I didn't watch any of these shows live, and then seeing all the pre-existing friendships from all the people that had never met each other, I'm like, oh, I need to jump into that. I want to be a beloved chatter with all you and have friends up in Ohio and out Los Angeles. Hackride wants to bring me back, and I'm definitely open to it. I think everyone loves and hates Los Angeles. You ask Schlegel over at 98 Rock, I bet he'd say the same thing, that he loved it and hated it.
Right.
So I'm open to it. I'd love to do film industry stuff again, especially, as I said, in the producer role. But I think I'd like to get some Atlanta in me to have a different life experience than I already had in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just thought it was insincere from the start that I thought that, like we've kind of seen the pattern almost now, is that he just gloms onto whatever heat is going on to try to get some heat to the Steeltoe morning show, which is, I guess, what a lot of us do. But I just found the whole thing insincere all along, and I never bought it for 1 minute. I'm like, there's no way that they're going to go to DabbleCon. And sure enough, with the circumstances beyond their control, it got within a couple weeks of it, and it's like, oh, we're not really going to DabbleCon. And that just kind of almost confirmed what my initial thought is. They were just kind of showing up because Shuley at the time and Carl and the WATP guys, they were all generating all this kind of heat and everything out of all this new, rejuvenated Stuttering John stuff. And I think they were just coming along for whatever ride they could get out of it. Really?
Which is kind of what we're all doing. I jumped on the Imholt train because it's the thing to do. I did a couple of Stuttering John episodes of co-host auditions when I first started streaming. I did a pilot episode of the goofing on Stuttering John, but it was just the Uncle Rico show, not done as well by two people the internet had never heard of. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't go forward with this goofing on Stuttering John show because Uncle Rico is doing it better, and people know who they are.
I definitely relate to that, my friend, because I saw everyone getting the cheap heat, like, hey, just go in and poke John with a stick, go in his shows, draw some attention to yourself. But when I saw people doing that, it just felt insincere for me to try to do it. I'm like, like you said, like you just made the point that Shuley and Bob and all those guys, they worked with him. They're so much better that I would have felt like a fool or a second rate even trying to do any of the Stuttering John stuff. So I really don't engage Stuttering John and kind of do like, hey, I'm over here poking you with a stick, but I enjoy talking about it. I love the fodder and talking about it, all the drama around it, for real.
When I initially started my channel, a lot of it was just about, I want to be your second mic. The co-host audition was my first show, and then coming up with the concept of Stuttering John's Shuley Detractor Show. I spent 2 weeks workshopping that because I was like, if I do an hour of this, of just bitching about Shuley, it doesn't have... So I made it kind of a video essay with the thesis statement, why Shuley stinks and Carl doesn't, and I would goof on both Stuttering John and Shuley. So that's something, as we've seen with the co-host that John has gotten, he does not want to be challenged. If he ever did see one of my episodes, I think it was blatant enough to where he realized that I was goofing on him. I mean, I promoted us doing a gig at the Great Hobo Barbecue in Temecula, which is now a deep cut from the Stuttering John lore. So, yeah, he does not want someone who would come and say, I like you, John. I like Carl. Fuck that Shuley guy, which, of course, I was yucking it up. And in that 2 weeks of me developing the show from an hour of bitching about Shuley to 30 minutes of having 3 segments with this thesis statement, John returned, and I'm like, oh, fuck, do I can this? It stayed around for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much work I put into that. I would fully script out the episodes and then do them, as you talk. It's a little bit different. And then seeing John come on bitch about Shuley with nothing planned. I'm like, John, I actually could help you here. But he blocked me on Twitter immediately. And I just, after 3 weeks, it lost its fun with John actually being here.
Yeah. And the co-host audition, explain that premise for people that don't get it. I find that interesting. Like you said, you're trying to be a second mic thing. Explain that.
Yes, I am submitting unsolicited auditions to be someone's second mic. I'll take shows where it's just a single person, and I will react to it, like a variant of reaction content. I've had a few videos of people coming on and saying, oh, you're actually adding something to this. And it's like, cool, yes, really? That's the point, is that this is, I'm not writing jokes beforehand. I preview the video, and some videos I'll get like 10, 15 minutes in, and I'm like, I don't know what's on the rest of this, but I can't work with this. It's not going to be fun. So me doing a new variant of reaction content where I'm doing more than just, oh, look at that. Like
so
some reaction videos
you just sit there
are.
and react to essentially a person that has no co-host, and you just jump in and act like you're doing the show with them and you are the co-host, and you essentially add some different little flavor to some of those pre-taped shows, right?
Yeah, and I call Casey Armstrong the sperm donor of co-host auditions because his show I found completely unwatchable. And he's got this goodwill built up from these Stern fans of myself and many others. And I sent him a couple of emails like, Casey, please, you need some help. Hold co-host auditions. Have me on for a week. You don't even need to pick me. Okay. And he just never responded to that. There was one comment I left on one of his videos that he deleted. He was not turning into the gag. Or not even in the gag. I was serious about. Come on, get the second mic, Casey. You've got monetization. I'm some guy. I could make banter happen between you that could help you out. And just no response. So I was like, well, I'll just do a co-host show my damn self.
Yeah. He's a fascinating guy. Even going back to the Stern days and all, you remember his like gambling story and all that stuff, and all his women's stories and all. But it was funny to me because somebody that came from such a volatile kind of situation as the Howard Stern show, I didn't think he would be taken aback by jumping here on podcasting and all. But if you notice, if you watch some of his early episodes, he really got on here. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know what to trust. So I don't know if you kind of hit him in those early days when he was still kind of figuring out and feeling everybody out, because everybody was approaching him to kind of do something with him at the time.
It had to be May of last year that I was in some of his live chats and started emailing him of like, hey, buddy, I like you. I hate the show, and so does a lot of other people. Please accept this gift of someone to bounce off of, because it's just not working. When Melton was critiquing him, Casey flipped the fuck out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. For being around the Stern show and taking every shot that every comedian and Howard could throw at you, I find it odd that he's so like affected by everything. I just expected he would just show up and let everything roll off his back. Like, hey man, I did the Howard Stern show. You ain't gonna throw nothing at me that I haven't already kind of experienced. But that doesn't seem to have been the case for him so far. But
nope, and I haven't checked him out in quite a while. I'm hoping that he improved. Then again, I was hoping Ray DeVito would improve.
Jesus.
There are some people, like, I definitely believe I've gotten better in the year I've been doing this. Whereas Ray DeVito, I have never seen him improve a bit.
Yes.
And I used to say he's a likable guy until his nice guy mask slipped.
Yeah.
It was when he totally went off at Ari J and that, this nice guy Ray, that's a mask.
Yeah. Ray is a special one. He's another one we could probably just do like whole topics and stuff on. But you were talking about we were getting back. We're kind of jumping around a little bit. At least I am. We were talking about Steel Toe and Bubba earlier, right? And kind of their whole ranking system. I got this little clip right here that I found last week and all that I thought was pretty funny, and I kind of recognized the voices in it right away. Check this out. You'll have fun with this one too. This is there we go.
All right, so is your name Aaron?
My name is Aaron.
All right, and you're the host, you were the host of the Central Minnesota Morning Show, correct?
Yeah, the Steel Toe Morning Show was and is, mine. Correct.
Okay, hosted by you, Aaron.
Yeah.
And you were considered kind of the shock jock of the community, so to speak. I've kind of watched a little bit of your stuff, and it's Bubba Howard, man cow ish kind of. Am I kind of right?
I don't know what's going on.
The ego clicked in. Here goes another part.
Let's go ahead and get ready for what you boys and girls paid for. Which is, oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yes.
Dillon.
Oh,
I was hoping there would be
Lord.
the way that artist animated April. I started seeing that April cartoon pop up places before I saw that animation. It's the funniest of all the characters I've seen him animate.
How can you take such few pieces of color and make someone look so much like the actual person? I mean, it's essentially just, like a flesh color and some pieces of bikini. And boy, that looks exactly like April. That's amazing.
A disheveled version. That was her over at the Recadas after a long weekend.
Well, and it's also what we were being told that we weren't seeing, right? We're not seeing that somebody that's strung out on something and maybe overdoing it or something. And every time we would say something, oh, you're just talking about, I can't believe how you guys going on April. But I like that they took that audio. That's obviously, for those that don't recognize that, that's Bubba the Love Sponge. And
here's the deal.
Yes, here's the deal. That's right. Here's the deal. We got to get the rattler out. Yes, Bubba. Yes, so it was Bubba the Love Sponge attempting to interview Aaron about his Minnesota show, but you hear the ego in the way of Aaron because my take was that he didn't like the ranking. So you're kind of like a Stern, Bubba, kind of a lesser kind of thing, and then Aaron was like, I don't know, but like he literally did not know how to respond to someone of Bubba's stature, kind of putting him in his place, if you will.
And he's taken that since Bubba pointed out, so you're like me and Stern. And then Aaron took that as like, yes. And it's funny that Aaron doesn't include Stern there on his rankings. Oh, Howard, if you only would have been serious about that retiring for realsies thing last contract. Oh boy.
He definitely seems like the big fish in the little pond, and he has a much higher opinion of himself than anyone else, maybe outside of the Minnesota area and the Minnesota pond area, if you will. That's kind of what I think when I think about Aaron.
And he did overestimate how big a fish he was. The goal, he's forced himself into begging because he really needed to get a part-time job and do this as a hobby, and then at some point hopefully make it his full-time job again. But he was like, no, I am following my dream no matter what. Sometimes you need to move out into the middle of somewhere and do something else when your dream isn't panning out as it was. But he is just holding on to that I want to do radio, which Carl Hamburger does shit on a lot. Radio is not what it once was. I would enjoy that, though, of being a radio guy. Because we all grew up idolizing those radio guys. Yes. So that's, but I wonder how neutered that a show would be, if I were to do a radio show, how neutered it would be forced to be. Because you hear radio now, they're not taking chances. It is just bland as fuck.
Yeah, there's nothing. There'll never be anything like a Howard Stern or many of these shock jocks on radio anymore. I think that was definitely there was a time and a place for that era for sure. Let's see, little fish in a big pond thinking something big is going on. That's right. And even going back to they just had the anniversary show a couple months ago, and he swore, he was like, hey Johnny, that's what I'll do. I'll invite this station, and I'll invite that station, and I'll invite this station. And he thought that he had this delusion in his mind that every station, even ones that he used to work for, were going to come out to Stonies and simulcast this lame ass party that he was attempting to have.
He was so excited about that.
Yes.
And sometimes it's good to have that stream of consciousness as you're doing a show, and it'll sound fun. But when you come up with these grandiose ideas that don't come through, it makes you look like an ass. He's done that a few times. Like when that Lifetime producer just emailed him, guys, there is a Lifetime movie producer. And it's the most preliminary of preliminary-ist talks that he was having with the guy. I've actually been using that as a writing exercise. I've been writing the Steel Toe Lifetime movie, and that's been a fun writing exercise for me. I'm sure it won't go anywhere, but that's just a fun little molding that world to an audience who doesn't know him, who's just meeting these fictional characters based on a true story. Figuring out.
You never know, man, because I mean that just like the Stuttering John stuff, you would show this to a Hollywood producer and they might be amazed by it because you could not write some of this shit and some of the scenarios that go down or some of the stuff that's being said on a lot of these shows by Aaron and Stuttering John. So I'm wondering if you could find a Hollywood producer that would even believe it. But like I said, I think lesser things have probably made it to the screen. So I would keep at that. Definitely for sure.
Yeah, there is a lot of shit that makes its way. If you know the right people, you can get stuff done. Like I said with my game show, if I just have the right connections, I could make that happen. And it's funny, the filming schedule that I created, I was like, oh, what would be great? Because making one episode of a game show, a pilot episode, it's a lot of money, and just to make 10 all at once would be a lot more cost effective. And I was like, oh, let's just do 10 at once. And this could be a great new way of filming. And really, I just created the 1950s style.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, you're just, and well, like they say, everything old is new again, Dillon. That's kind of why I touch on the radio stuff, because I still like to think that there's people out there like maybe you and myself that grew up with the radio vibe. And so I'm just trying to incorporate all my love for stuff like podcasting and radio and all that stuff, because I still think there's a little place for it. Maybe not on the radio dial, but I'm hoping there's a place for me here doing that kind of stuff.
When I think of the Los Angeles radio that I miss, it's the music. There were no talk shows that I was a fan of. I miss KCRW morning going eclectic, but not a single radio person. Here and somewhere, we've got the lame morning radio show that's kind of like a hate listen when I'm in the car of like this. It's so fucking bad. These these
the
Elliot
yuck
in the
yucks
morning forced
and
laughters.
Yes, Elliot in the morning with the yuck. Hey, everybody, do that. And Aaron kind of reminded me of that yuck guy, a guy that laughs a little too hard and thinks he's a little too more clever than he actually is. One of my first things they're encountering Aaron was this show started out as a different thing called Coffee and Pods with my friend Stormy, who you might see on No Filter and some other shows. And what we would do, we would try to come on and we just turn the camera on and just talk about these crazy antics on the air every day. And Stormy, my friend, was one of the first people to point out, she'd go, why does Aaron sit with his back to April like that in that odd, peculiar way, like never making eye contact with her? She's like, something is wrong and off with that guy. She picked up on him very early with her womanly instincts.
Some people, were much quicker, like Milton, way before any of us. And I chose Wednesday for covering Aaron every other week because that's when Milton is off. It's like, all right, if I'm going to do this regularly, when is Milton not on? So like the void of goofing on him is there.
Yeah. Let's see what some people are saying. Stoney's is a biker bar where pizza is the only thing to eat. Booking Mayor and Gino at bowling alleys. Yeah. That's another. Let's see. I was looking for that. No morning zoo. LOL. That's right. It's BF and Dillon coming at you with the morning time zoo. Stachungsta checks in and says, I like KCRW and KEXP though through apps now. That's how he's listening to his music. DJ Run Music Radio. Well, if we're talking about music a little bit, we can sidetrack a little bit in that. I had Sirius for the longest time, Dillon, and I just kind of gave it up recently because I think I gave up on I didn't want to give up on the dream that Howard Stern had changed and that we're not going to see that show anymore. So I kept it probably longer than I should have, but I wasn't really enjoying Sirius for music anymore either. I like YouTube for music nowadays. Do you have like a favorite kind of source you go to through music?
I guess I've been YouTube as well. I found Pogo, who is a DJ and takes movies and TV shows and turns them into electronica type of ambient chill songs. I've started enjoying Spurg Snake has been doing his music streams. Started doing a music stream right before my show, and I enjoy the mix that he throws together. So it's like you two are taking two different aspects of the radio that we used to love, especially with wherever you go in the United States. There's a 98 Rock Baltimore. That sound, that selection of music that they have. It is in every single city. They don't have freedom like I'm told that the DJs once had to play whatever they wanted to.
Like you have your iHeartRadio corporates that own a lot of these stations and all, and they make like one playlist and all of them regurgitate kind of the same playlist. Yeah, I've seen that pattern because like you said, on apps, you can pick up music from other markets. And that's one that kind of sticks out to me is that iHeartRadio where they've kind of just went around buying up all those stations and kind of just making them all basically a milquetoast, the same thing, if you will. Let's see. Sparksnake checks in and says 98.5 WNCX in Cleveland. That's right. We like the good old radio. Yeah, I always like that kind of I always like the bells and whistles and the beats and the timing and radio. I grew up as a little kid always having like a radio in my ear, so that's where my love of radio comes from.
The comedy that they had on 98 Rock as well, the 5 o'clock funnies, they would always play a different stand-up every day at 5 p.m. while you're in the afternoon traffic. The Twisted Tunes, they had a fun comedy twist to their channel that I'm not sure if it's there anymore. I listen to it when I go home because I have so many good memories of 98 Rock Baltimore, of having that they call it the heritage rock. We've got old rock and mandatory Metallica coming at you.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, Kirk in the afternoon, he still kind of throws them in as the kind of vignettes in kind of the afternoon. So they do throw some comedy vignettes in there. It's not a strict segment like it used to be, the 5-5. But yeah, you are a fan. You definitely go back with those comedy bits and all that stuff for sure. Jimmy Bezos checks in and says DC 101 WJFK, but nothing beats WHFS 99.1, the alt rock station.
That turned into a Spanish station, and when I went home last, it was something different. It's no longer it's on News
HF
Talk, Festival.
I think they're News Talk. Yeah.
The HFS is long gone. HF Festival was the big fun music. I think that was the biggest of all the radio concerts in the area.
Absolutely. Like DC 101 only later with the chili cook-off and stuff, they started picking up their kind of concert game a little bit. But HFS with those alt bands at that time was nothing bigger. And I did attend the WHFS festival when they had it at a stadium here in Baltimore. So I'm familiar with the WHF festival. But yeah,
and I can see what the programmers were thinking with HFS when they changed formats. To be like, we're too DC 101 like, because DC 101 versus 98 Rock, they're playing more of the newer hits and Sublime. Like, that's the biggest difference. DC 101 loves their fucking Sublime.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, I do think that it also had to do with we were probably getting an influx at the time. The Spanish culture was increasing, and that there were less options around for Spanish-speaking people. You know, they are of a demographic that they had to consider. Milk carton radios, as our friend Jerry Lahane. Yes, but I grew up on all that stuff. And so, yeah, so when you hear a guy like Aaron, you can hear that kind of schlocky, kind of kind of thing into him. But the more I listen to him, I'm like, this guy has no conviction about anything he says. He just like says things just to say them. I don't believe if you went back and asked him, you remember your opinion on that show from 2 weeks ago? I don't think he'd have the same opinion. He just seems like he says whatever's convenient. That's my take, at least.
He's another funny thing about Aaron is his movie references. And how I enjoy movie references, and he just does them wrong.
Poorly, yeah.
Very poorly. I think he's trying to do an Anthony Cumia bit sometimes when he carries out the references for minutes at a time.
Yes.
Like, sometimes I'll think of Anthony Cumia doing Doc Brown for quite a while, and it was really fun. But when Aaron is quoting Fargo for 5 minutes straight, it's not Anthony Cumia's Doc Brown.
Right, exactly. And any impression, even some of the best impressions, if you carry on with it for 5 minutes because you think it's funny, that sounds even more problematic to me, because normally, as you probably can tell, the best impressions are maybe some of the shorter ones that kind of are sweet and succinct and they hit the point. You're not really entertained by someone that can just sit there and just kind of do every bit of their monologue in someone else's voice. It's how you go about it.
Mm-hmm. You got to figure out how to inject that into the show. And it just, it doesn't work.
That
with
was
that
something
guy.
about Cumia. So I did pick up on Compound, because when I got into this podcasting and all that around the epidemic and all that stuff, I was a Compound member for a while, and I got to see some of Anthony's shows in the afternoon, and that was my biggest takeaway, Dylan, is that I really didn't get a feel for how great of an impressionist he was. He does some really excellent impressions, and so I was really happy to hear some of those.
Have you ever heard the Tony Danza compilation when they were fucking with the Tony Danza show?
No, I can't say that, but I remember Tony Danza like being quite volatile and going off at the smallest thing and having those outtakes on Tony Danza. He's not the nice guy he comes off to be on screen, is he?
Yeah, there is a big compilation on YouTube. You can absolutely waste an afternoon of Opie and Anthony screwing with Tony Danza, and Anthony's Tony Danza is on point.
That's great. Yeah, I definitely, and that was something like you said, because we drank the Kool-Aid. When you listen to Stern, I really didn't have the option to listen to these other guys necessarily until more syndication and satellite maybe became a thing. But he would always say, like, he went into Philadelphia and did the funeral for that guy, the morning zoo there. And
you're bald.
DeBella or whatever.
You're bald. Yeah, DeBella.
Yeah, you're bald. You're bald. Oh my God.
You're bald.
Bro, we thought that he got nearly driven to the point of suicide because I think his wife left him. He lost his show, and then I was so amazed to see that many years later he ended up coming in the studio and actually doing a sit-down interview with Stern.
The history of Howard Stern. Those were really fun specials for the when I had Sirius. I got rid of my Sirius much sooner before you did. It was soon after Artie left that it didn't become part of my everyday anymore. He lost that everyman without Artie in studio, and that's where a whole bunch of people dropped off. Was that fun dynamic that was on the first 4 or 5 years of Sirius was gone, yes. And it just faded away as part of my morning.
And as the epidemic kind of came bearing down on us, and the politics and everything that was kind of building up at that time, it got away from fun because of all of that stuff, because of Artie leaving, because of the epidemic, because of the politics that were being injected that wasn't maybe necessarily being injected every day and before. It definitely changed. But those were some fun times, and I will always salute and honor those times. And matter of fact, I was listening to old Howard Stern bits just this morning before the show. I was listening to the one when John wanted beers when they went to the concert. Beers. And they were like, John, you don't the first thing you're asking for is beers. People ask for a beer. Let's go get beer. But I was just not to over talk it, but I was enjoying some old classic Stern bits this morning to this day.
And I had to catch up on those. I didn't listen to, well, I was in school. I graduated high school in 2005. So that's when Howard made, and at that point, Howard, he had the shits of regular radio. And Sirius injected him with new life. The E! Show, I took those in all throughout the 90s. I was watching, I was probably like 6, 8 years old watching those E! Shows.
Oh, the E! Show was awesome, and that was many people who weren't in a Stern market. That was their first or only exposure to Howard Stern, and that was so great at the time, Dillon, because in the beginning, for the very early days, they were literally showing whatever happened that morning. But then, as they built up a library, and I think they kind of figured out that wasn't always going to be a thing, they eventually started not necessarily showing the live thing at 11:30 that night. They would show them on delay. But I always loved when something would happen on the air and Howard would go, hey guys on E, this show is so good today, I want this show to be like the live show. I want this edited down for tonight. So I was always excited to see what the next E! Show was going to be.
And that does take some work to get it out there that quick. I can understand why they changed models so they wouldn't be as pressured to really get that thing together and on air really quick.
Absolutely. But it was almost like a special treat when he did, because some kind of antics or something would go down that was visual that you would have to see. So I just loved everything about those days. I mean, there was almost nothing bad about Stern in those days. Terry Nee, my friend Terry Nee, checks in the chat, and he made a comment. Let me find that for you. Terry Nee says, I was surprised how good Anthony karaoke was on BF's short video from Rochester. So, I made the trek up to Rochester. It was about a 6-7 hour ride for me, buddy. But like you said, it's great being around those guys, a lot of fun. And I just love you could just be standing there and all of a sudden Bob Levy will be there, and then he'll leave and maybe Shuley will be there. But they're always just kind of mulling amongst us, and it was a great time. And
at the first DabbleCon, when Anthony Cumia got up to do karaoke, like everyone stopped their conversations and was watching him. There was an Anthony Cumia love circle. Like the VIP people were able to get into the meet and greet, but Anthony was just chilling at the bar. At some point, I wandered out to where all the regular ticketed people were, because it was an Anthony Cumia love fest. And in OMG, I heard Terry Clifford on the actual radio coming up into Rochester. And I was like, Anthony, I heard Terry Clifford. Oh, my goodness. That poor woman.
I have the video that Terry's talking about. I'll probably have to go back and kind of erase it. It'll be a no impact kind of a copyright hit, but I'm gonna play it for you right here, because much like Terry, that's the reason I recorded this. I'm like, you know what, Anthony ain't actually doing bad. He's kind of holding his own up there. So I'll play a little bit for you right here. This was my video that when I did my kind of quick live from Rochester, as our friend Terry Nee says. Let me do a little screen share here. Let's play a little Anthony singing, doing his thing. said, Dylan, I noticed that, and that's why I picked it up. I'm like, he's holding his own, and everybody, that crowd wasn't necessarily that kind of tight and concentrated up until Anthony was up there. And then everybody was like, oh, Kumi is up there singing. Let's go see what this is all about. So you can see.
Did you get up on the karaoke stage?
Nah, I didn't have the balls or I didn't have nothing. Take none of that with me. The nerve or none of that stuff.
I had my go-to song of "I Hate Everything About You" by Ugly Kid Joe. He didn't sing, so you don't need to sing. That's a great way to pick your songs.
Can you do, the rap part? Can you do, I know you know. Everybody knows where it comes.
Yeah,
where it's gonna go.
yes.
You gotta do that one.
And I always get tripped up on that because it's always the censored version that they have up on the karaoke screen. So I get tripped up for a moment, and then I got to get back into the I know, you know, everybody knows the way it comes, the way it goes.
Yes, that's a rocking song. That's a fun one, man.
I actually got attacked by a cougar right after that.
Oh, boy, you must have really put on a performance, didn't you?
Yeah, I then went up with her. It was some Pat Benatar song that she wanted to sing. I was like extremely surprised. I was like, "Oh my goodness! I'm gonna get some at DabbleCon." I was not expecting a hookup here, but that cougar turned a mother-daughter night out at the Carlson into a cock hunt for herself.
Hi-oh.
And her daughter.
Who knew Ugly Kid Joe would be the key to you getting some? Who knew? Ugly Kid Joe.
It almost was, but her daughter, she wasn't letting that happen. It seemed to be old hat to her of just shooing away the slinging dicks from mom who's trying to dive into them.
Mom, I told you stop getting random penises. Let's go. We got to get out of here. Stacey Allen checks in, the lovely Stacey Allen. She says, the show also got really gay when Artie left. That's not that there's anything wrong with that.
Really Richard and Sal were pushing it that way for a while.
Yeah, they even after a while, because Artie would go, "Why do I need to see this? I don't want to see your asshole in the morning or your balls." And then after a while, it's almost like he kind of fell into it, whatever. That's kind of what these guys do.
What's in my pouch?
Yeah. Oh the pouch with the
Sal would put stuff in his foreskin
and the pennies in his pouch. Oh my God, the shit that stuff he would put in his foreskin pouch. Stacey Allen says that she listened to Yaki the Tickler today, the Yaki episode. That's going back. Lots of famous shows and references. He do gaming COD in the body's voice as Johnny A. Fred Norris does great voices, but Ant going way overboard on perfect parody was amazing. I can't say bear. It sounds like beer, bear. Jerry Lane says he was behind the E-shows knowing Howard's ego demanded he the biggest network, king of all media. And I liked how Howard gave himself that name, Dylan, if you remember how that all went down.
Yeah, during Private Parts, when his book, movie, and the soundtrack were number one. It was a parody of Michael Jackson. He's the king of pop. I'm the king of all media.
Exactly. He would go on the air saying that, yeah. Yes.
And that parody name just stuck.
It did. It totally stuck, and the media ran with it. And I almost think that he really didn't expect that, buddy, because like we kind of said, he almost did it as kind of a goof. Like, hey, if Michael Jackson can call himself the king of media, then I can call myself the king of all media. And that shit stuck. That was amazing. Fun stuff. And then him ending up on America's Got Talent eventually. That was an odd time.
That is where everyone points to the downfall of Howard when he got on America's Got Talent and decided I'm going full on Hollywood. I remember him telling some stories of how it takes a long time to shoot anything in Hollywood. So like they're setting cameras up and they're like, oh, 5 more minutes. And after a couple of 5 more minutes, Howard's off to his limo. Yeah. And him being a pain in the ass is, I'm certain, a big reason why they didn't invite him back for a second season, or some of the producers were like, oh, let's do some more shows with Howard.
I imagine it was half and half because if you recall, certainly unprecedented. I've never heard of such a thing where they actually moved the where they taped the show from Los Angeles to New York to accommodate Howard Stern, to accommodate one person.
Oh, I was only listening somewhat during that time. I thought it was still out Los Angeles. I was unaware they actually moved it for him.
Yeah, they did. They actually moved the show to the East Coast, and so he could do tapings. Yeah, and he would rush away and do them in the same day because I think he did it the first season. I think he did do it in L.A., and he was doing the whole commute thing. I don't think he thought it was going to last much, but then I believe the second year, they moved the entire AGT tapings to New York City area. Yeah, I used to know the name of the theater outside the Jersey area. They found like some kind of home theater. But yeah, I mean, certainly unprecedented for any show. And he was okay on that. But yeah, I do agree between that becoming more corporate with AGT and NBC, and the fact that I believe that Sirius Satellite was bought by like that Liberty Media company at the time. They got some new management, and the Sirius got some new executives in there, and I think the old guard was kind of out, and things had to be kind of cleared more corporately. I remember Shuley talking about that was part of his decision making in deciding whether he was going to leave the Stern Show, is that all of a sudden, after many years of just kind of running in with a bid or running to Gary, now he had to things had to go through channels or something where they didn't have to before.
Which absolutely makes sense, but it took away from that. Like Howard ran a circus. All the show in the hallway, as they put up on the on-demand channel. There's always wacky stuff going on all over the place.
The show, yes.
It made sense to take this circus atmosphere away and make it something more organized, but that absolutely changed the tone and everything that he was doing on air, to not have that circus, to have it as an actual organization.
You cannot organize or control or plan that chaos that we were kind of new and took part in every day, right? They would literally just walk in the room and go, Howard, you ain't going to believe what this asshole did. And Howard, you ain't going to believe what this asshole said. And this piece of tape I got for you. And when it's not happening organically like that anymore, I believe that was kind of part of the downfall of the Stern Show. Kakioki, says our friends, the Chunkster. Yes,
That's
you
right.
want to explain Kakioki for people that might not be familiar with Kakioki?
I forgot that Kakioki was a thing. That's where Richard and Sal, I'm certain, came up with that, and it was like the mic was attached to their penis, and they sang
to his
into
foreskin. That is correct.
The foreskin, of course. Another working the foreskin into a bit.
Yes. Kakioki was Sal Governale, one of the writers with Richard Christie. And yes, this was the bit. They always had people, Dillon, and you remember this. Howard, play my record. Howard, play my record. My girlfriend will come in and show her tits if you play my record and all this stuff, right? He would always have that all the time.
There were a lot of people, that they just pulled off the street to like, hey, this guy has his wife with him. She's going to get naked.
Show her tits, all that stuff.
I'm remembering one specifically where she got hotter as she got more naked, because they're like, oh, I see what the thing is here. She's got kind of a butterface thing going on. It's not a terrible face, but it's a rockin' bod.
It was deceptive and all. So yes, he actually took one of those lavalier mics, or those tiny little mics, and he clipped it on his foreskin. And any potential band who wanted to come and sing in an attempt to get their song played on the Howard Stern Show had to get under basically Sal's crotch and sing up into the Kakioki microphone. So they literally had grown-ass men standing under another grown-ass man with a microphone attached to his foreskin, singing into it as if he was like Lemmy from Motorhead, in order to get their song played on the Howard Stern Show. That's what Kakioki was.
I completely forgot about that. Thank you, beloved chatters.
Slinging dicks, get my bug spray, says Jerry Lahine. We're having fun talking to Dillon. And let's see, the circus ended up being better than Howard's show, so he killed all of that. That's why he dumbed down the wrap-up show, and it became better than the main show. Stacey Allen is dead on point, because I made this comment a couple weeks ago, Dillon, is that the after show, the wrap-up show, right? That was quite entertaining in itself. The guys would kind of get on without a net after the show and just talk about all the shit that happened on the show that morning, right?
I remember Artie specifically. It was the day before the bro fight. He came off and did a monologue on Bob Levy being a scumbag for like 5 minutes uninterrupted. It was an amazing takedown of Bob.
But Stacey is correct in that, and I was feeling this too at the time, Stacey. I'm like, you know what? This wrap-up show is actually a lot more fun than kind of the Stern Show has been lately, because they would talk more freely. They didn't have Howard kind of controlling the tempo or what the content, and all these things would pop off about, well, this happened at the show over the weekend, and they would talk about it in length on the wrap-up show. Howard would have no idea about the topic, and then they would present it the next day, and like, hey, we were talking about this last night. And after a while, Howard got irritated by that, and he started realizing that his show was really starting to happen on the wrap-up show. And I believe that's why he put an end to it.
There was a lot of also sometimes the wrap-up show would just be like 5 minutes. The one episode I'm thinking of specifically is where Crazy Al is called in during the news and Artie started yelling at her and she would yell back. And it was such a fun bit. Howard's like, let's keep this going, to where the wrap-up show was like, hi, I'm John Hine, this is the wrap-up show, and goodbye, everybody.
I'm Reba Dutton, cocksucker. You, fuck you, fuck you. Who is this?
Crazy Al's, rest in peace. You probably heard that she just recently passed away, right?
I got that. Thanks to Carl Hamburger playing what Stern's doing. Like, unfortunately, unlike just like Stuttering John, I need someone else's lens to listen to Howard now. I can't do it raw. I can't do it.
Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, you're right. I called a couple of the WATPs recently where Carl is kind of keeping us. Oh, the freaking horrific Chat GPT script, buddy. Did you see Carl talk about that?
Howard, I don't know how he could look at that and believe it was good for air. That's something. Even if you've lost your swing, you should realize that that's a loser.
It was so put on and everything. And, a lot of people have been contending many years that a lot of what we were already hearing that was wild and zany was somewhat scripted. I have no doubt that they did segments like, hey, we're going to fuck with Bob this half hour. We're going to mess with Artie this or whatever. But I don't know how much it was necessarily scripted. But the Chat GPT just sounded so overly and terribly scripted. And someone made a point, Dillon, that maybe perhaps much like Don Imus, maybe Howard stayed at the party too long.
100%. He's this definitely last contract. He shouldn't have picked up the fading just to call it quits like in 2013, 2015. As I said, I stopped listening around 2009, 2010. But these last 5 years have, 10 even, these last 10 years have not been good to his legacy. And he realized very intelligently that he can't do what he used to do. The public perception of it, he can't do that old show, and trying to transform into something different. And some people can pull that off. Charlie Chaplin went from silent movies to talkies very well, but not everyone can transition into a new time.
Yeah, and it's funny because, it's safe to say that 10 years ago or so, Howard might have been considered one of the scourge of the media. And now he's put out like this voice of the media. When any type of talking point needs to be brought up, Howard Stern said all of a sudden. And at what point in our lives when we were Stern fans was that ever a thing? I would just answer and say never, because that was never a thing in his heyday, Dillon. But I know, look, we come here to talk about Dillon, but we're having fun talking about Howard Stern, man. We're not just Dillon, but talking about Aaron a little bit. But I'm enjoying this, man, because, like we can see a lot of Stern fans in our crowd. I'm a Stern guy. You are too. So I could literally keep doing this all day for more hours, buddy. But, before we do end of the show, we're going to kind of touch on any of our points about, Aaron and all, kind of what's going to happen, because they had the whole arrest thing, and that's what I don't like about any of this, buddy. It's fine to let all this stuff play out on the air, but I really don't like that it's gotten down to this litigious stuff and this personal stuff. What do you think about now that we're now in litigation and in their personal lives? What's your take on that?
It's fascinating, especially with one episode I did. There were 2 contempt of court charges from people calling into the court. So this is something like he brought unto himself. This show is about my life. He's been talking about it so much. It doesn't feel dirty. It actually does feel like an extension of his show to tune in to find out what happened in court and where that's going.
Yeah. Well, you can't say that, right? You can't say I could do a show that I'm going to talk about my life and then get mad when people talk about your life. Much like, did you see when Aaron went on Hughesy's show last week, the Hughes interview? You must have known about that, right?
Yes, with the Aussie guy. I do recall that. That was Aaron just yelling over. It reminded me so much of that one time that Stuttering John and Shuley were on together, and John just yelled over Shuley for 30 minutes or whatever. So just so many parallels to Stuttering John. And I think Stuttering John, I don't have as much fun with it once he came back and I realized, he's drunk himself into brain damage. Whereas Aaron, he's still has all his cognitive abilities about him.
Right. Yeah, he believes him. He believes his own bullshit is what I like to say. Yes.
He thinks he is number 3 of radio in all time, which is why he doesn't need to go get a part-time job. Go get a part-time job, buddy. Well, now I'm talking to Aaron in the past. Aaron in the past, pick up a part-time job and only broadcast 2 days a week.
Well, and it was as recently as just a few weeks ago where he says, yeah, I got some leads. I got some radio people talking, Johnny. I can't really say anything right now, but I haven't heard anything come of those leads. But he was alluding to the fact that he might be making his way back. I think that's his kind of ultimate dream, is to end up somehow back on a regular kind of a radio station.
And he can't do the 1990s shock jock stuff that he wants to do on regular radio anymore. He does have to fit to the current model of just blandness, which...
Right.
Well, I guess he does fit that model of blandness, but you gotta tone it down of the show you actually want to do if you want to be on radio. I'd enjoy being on radio, but you have to fit into the mold. And this actually happened last year too, of Aaron talking about, I'm gonna be back on radio. Anytime there is just very early talks, it's gonna happen. He's
trying to recapture those old days where maybe he maybe his radio show was a little bigger. It just reeks of desperation, but he would tell you otherwise. So I don't know how much you are up on these things. I don't really like watching his show. I don't know that I could sit through an entire show, Dylan. So what I do is I utilize people like Stalin 19 and maybe My Lost Interest, and Real Media Player is one of my favorite clippers, and Doom as well. And I saw the other day that Aaron kind of overdid it for the Vikings over the weekend. Did you happen to see that? And he kind of had to stop his show Monday morning early. Did you catch any of that?
The Vikings football team? No, I'm unfamiliar with this current Aaronism.
Yeah, no, he's in a case to be macho, he is the ultimate Minnesota Vikings fan. Macho, football, good football, beer, and everything. So he loves to talk up how much he is a Minnesota Vikings fan and all. And I think he said he overdid it over the weekend. And Monday, I watched the clip from Real Media Player, and it turns out Johnny didn't show up. So he's literally sitting there by himself, half in the bag, talking about how he overdid it the night before, and he ended the show early, my friend. On Monday morning.
See, I haven't gotten to the Clippers yet because I haven't. I couldn't do my goofing on Aaron show watching it raw. So thorough. Joe Burrow, Stallion 19, all these folks. I do a show thanks to their efforts of sifting through all of this mud to find a little piece of gold for us. And everything moves so quickly in the world of Aaron. I stopped accumulating clips until like the day before I do my Aaron show, because that goofy thing he did like 5 days ago, he's done so many more stupid things since then. So let's focus on the newest stupid thing, because like Blind Mike covers him, Carl covers him. We've got the two ladies, Pretty Antisocial, covering him.
Shout out to them ladies. I love the ladies' point of view, because he so hates, like he always wanted to shut April down or recondition or reform her words and thoughts. And I love seeing when women can talk freely, because I love a woman's point of view when they see a guy acting like an asshole and putting himself out there the way he does, and they just kind of cut right through all of it. I love that. Pretty Antisocial, yeah.
So I have to. I don't even research Aaron until like 1 or 2 nights before my show, because we've got so many others that are covering it. I don't want to over stomp the ground. Being a smaller show of covering them, want to have something unique. Yeah. So if this has been covered for an entire week, let's get to the new stupid thing that he's done.
So I like what recently is transpiring is that Kevin Brennan is trying to get Johnny on his show and offered him $250. Were you aware of that?
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. So that's what I learned from my Clippers. I learned that from a Real Media Player. Yes, he is trying to get Johnny on the phone. So I'll have a clip of what Aaron thinks that should be. Let me see. I'm playing this right now. Here's a little clip of it. Compliments of Real Media Player. Check this out.
I don't know. I know that Johnny texted me this weekend. He's been getting offers to go on Misery Loves Company on Big Kev's show. I think they said, $250 to go on Big Kev's show? And I told him, look, man, I love Kevin Brennan. I think Kevin Brennan's great. If they want to talk about me and stuff going on about me, I can't have it.
No, they really want to talk about Johnny and ask him about his egg chair.
Like, I can't, because I can't risk it looking like I'm saying, like, there's just certain I cannot talk
now
about.
All of a sudden he cares
and
about.
I just,
now
you know,
I
don't think anyone is
says what when he has like temporary restraining orders or orders of protection against him, and he's not supposed to be saying things. And right, so legally he can't say nothing. But I like how he's trying to put it on Johnny now. Like, well, because he's part of Steel Toe, he also cannot comment on my personal life, which is
legally Johnny's not supposed to talk about it on Aaron's show. Legally, Johnny can absolutely talk about it on MLC.
Exactly. But once again, Mr. Aaron, he's spinning it in a different way because we don't think as well as Mr. Aaron does.
Associated with Steel Toe should be talking about. Number one, Johnny doesn't know anything. So asking him about it would be pointless.
I bet
but
he knows
also,
plenty.
Yeah, I don't. So anything he would have to say would be speculation, which is really all anyone has at this point. But I told him, I go, hey man, you know, as long as you don't talk about the shit I got going on, you know, go for it. You don't need my permission to go on that show. And then he and I are both like, yeah, they want to talk about your. And he's like, then I'm not going to do it if they're just going to bring me on to talk about your. I don't know. I don't care if he goes on MLC. I mean, if when it comes to my stuff, he's like, look, I don't know any. I mean, just tell the truth. I don't know.
As he's saying it, you know, see the looking down. I love the tells on him. The body language, the looking away. There you go, right, Dillon. The looking away, the looking down at the exact time he's making these cases. Yes, you're doing it quite well.
Funny thing about it, I can't talk about. I
He's
can't
fathy,
speak to
Dillon.
it. You know,
He'll scratch
That'd
your
be
eyes out.
fine. But it's also kind of that we. Like I've talked to Johnny about this before. It's kind of silly. It's like that Dan guy. You know,
like
to
he's ready
ask
to
a guy
pounce.
on your show.
Telling you ready to what?
Looks like he's ready to pounce there. He's like in a defensive position and looking out at the enemies, the predators, and ready to pounce on them in this one, rather than the reassuring self-hug that he has so often.
Yeah, well, and then look at this. I think Shuley might have pointed out, or other people. I think it was Shuley that pointed out there's probably not a time, it's much like John did with that you can't pause a video and find him in some kind of effeminate situation. Look at this. I just paused it randomly and look at that. It's like, hello, Frisco. Macho guy.
He has a drop the needle type of face. That used to be a running bit with John that kind of faded away over time of just press pause. And
anytime, yeah.
And Aaron has a lot of that going on as well. He's actually got a more regular face here at this pause moment, but so frequently when I cover him, I have to take a screenshot. I'm like, oh, that might be on next week's thumbnail, him doing...
Well, this is a sassy one for a thumbnail, but let's see what else is he's saying.
To talk to him about somebody else. Like, that's kind of a user move. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, man, you know, because when you ask someone to come on your show, you're kind of saying, like, I like you, right? Like, hey, I like you. I want you to come on the show.
This is what he thinks.
So you do that, and someone gets it in their head, oh, these guys like me. This is great. And then they get you on there, and they're like, let's talk about Aaron the whole time.
I bet he's never had somebody on a show and asked him about anyone else. What a buffoon.
And it's just like, well, that kind of makes someone feel good.
Wanting to control the narrative.
Use them like that. I don't know. Let's get to the chat because I am, again, I thought Johnny was going to be here.
Think what I tell you to think.
There he is. Still not here.
That was Johnny.
I thought Johnny was going to be here. I have a problem because I was counting on Johnny in case I needed to make a little trip across the hall there.
This was the Monday show I spoke
because I took some more ibuprofen this morning.
He needs a piss break.
Still got the headache.
Yep.
And I would not consider my stomach settled at this point. So I was kind of hoping Johnny would be here
if he's that much
if I needed to, you know, scoot for a second.
And there you go. There's a clip I have right there. Yeah, he probably had the beer shits, bro, and he was counting on Johnny. And the ironic thing is that, from what I can tell, he basically just goes on to his next topic whenever Johnny's there anyway. He just a very little sounding board for Johnny. It's not like Johnny goes on these kind of 5 or 10 minute diatribes or anything.
Aaron often doesn't listen to Johnny.
Exactly. But the fact that he doesn't have like a bullshit buffer there, like I need somebody absorbing this bullshit. Like this bullshit's bouncing off the walls. I need Johnny to absorb some of this bullshit.
Comedy Shaman calls it a meat shield. Aaron just needs some sort of meat shield.
I like
he
that
doesn't
term.
want an actual second mic to add anything. He just wants a meat shield up there.
I like that. That's a great term. But my take is, especially now with him talking about coming short of the goal more often than in recent times than he has been, and he also, the threat almost goes directly to like Matt and Johnny about, hey, they'll starve if we don't hit the goal, folks, and Johnny won't get his medicine if we don't hit the goal. It's about the goal. I can see Johnny saying, fuck it, man, I need $250, and I'm going on MLC. My prediction is that Johnny will ultimately end up on MLC.
For just $5 a day, you can make sure that Johnny Crutches gets his medication.
That's right. That would be a better fucking goal troll than what he does right now with the incessant, constantly with the goal, bro. But I loved, and I contacted. It's very rare. It's very rare that I'll reach out to a person. Normally, I enjoy everybody's content, but when I enjoy specifically, I reached out to Husey and I said, Husey, well done, my friend. I said, no way that I was thinking that Husey actually gave a shit about Aaron's take on boxing or anything. And the fact that we all knew the reason that Aaron was brought on the show, and Aaron is the only one that doesn't realize the reason he was brought on the show, is just wonderful. Wonderful.
Aaron did way too many shows way back. I think it was June when he was talking to Kino Casino about all the different positions him and Kayla Ricado were on, and he did smarten up enough to realize, I should knock this off, but still foolish enough to think, they want to talk about something mundane like my hobbies that I'm very terrible at.
And being the typical coward that he comes off being, he won't, he only goes at the Aussie guy. He won't say, hey, Husey, I thought we were going to talk about boxing, and you got a guy on that's doing his own thing. And Husey's sitting there like the deer in the headlights. Poor old Husey, like, I had no idea what. I said, you son of a bitch. I said, you there put in the good cop while he played the bad cop. I said, well done, my friend. Well done.
Doesn't realize that the good cop and the bad cop work for the same agency.
Right. This is how he's such a great, brilliant broadcaster, seen and done everything. He literally did not realize he was being good copped and bad copped on a show, on a podcast. And it was brilliant.
I love Husey's ultra dry wit. He's approaching Norm Macdonald with his dry humor.
Oh my God, he is. We'll play a little bit of this. It's 23 minutes long, but let's play. This is a compliment of Doom, another great clipper.
The turn, bitch. The turn. Question. I actually genuinely want to ask about your show. I mean, we could talk Vikings if you want.
I mean, Husey obviously is in control of this show, as you know, Dylan. He could stop at any time. He could interrupt at any time. Let's watch what he really does.
I want to soften the blow a little bit, but no, I wanted to ask you about your show because, like, people are talking about the fact you did mention going back to radio in September. I'll just give my own overview thoughts. It does come across at the moment, whether you like it or not.
Again.
It comes across that you actually hate your show right now. Like, I'm wondering, and a lot of people are wondering, what's next for your show? Is the radio thing still happening? Have you gone back and you just haven't told any of it?
It is. There was a little thing that happened back in May that we're going to have to take care.
Yeah, a little thing that happened, Dylan, and I love how he phrases when he gets himself in trouble. Things happen, and you take care of them. Yeah, like you share other people's porn, and you get in trouble for it. Yeah, like that's cause and effect. That's not something happens. That's something that was kind of preventable.
When you allude very heavily to people using drugs and neglecting their children without actually saying it, or was he actually saying it? He kind of went back and forth between I stopped doing drugs, other people didn't, and then outright just saying, Nick's a drug addict. Admit it.
That drives me nuts, bro, because it's like the you knew lady from Congress, right? You knew, like, he fully participated in everything that was happening there, right? When he was part of the inner circle of it. And I'm sure that there were instances where the families were back and forth and the kids were in the house and it wasn't great conditions. So he knew, he willingly took part in this. And then, once he got kicked out of the Cool Kids Club and he got out-dicked by Nick, basically, he got out-dicked. He got kicked out of the Cool Kids Club. So what does the nerd do that gets kicked out of the Cool Kids Club? They get on the phone and they tell their mommy and their daddy and the police. And I thought it was so much bullshit planned out that he just happened to be on the air with Kevin doing MLC, and Chad, of all people, had to go, hey, Aaron, I don't know if you know this, but apparently Nick and all them been arrested. And he go, oh my gosh, really? It's totally insincere, Dylan. That's kind of
and
why
him
I took that in.
Holding back that elation was like when George Costanza was told that Susan died of trying not to smile and celebrate.
Yeah. Garen got out-dicked and dicked down, says Uncle Jack checking in. Let's watch a little bit more of this and have a little more fun with this.
Care of before
and
that all
the fucking innocent looks on Hughesy's face. I mean, give me a break.
gets handled. But yeah, no, everything's great. I love
Look at
doing
the
my
smile.
show. I get people kind of read a little too much into stuff on the internet. I get it. I just don't take the bait, and I think that's a lot of the big problem. I don't, hang around after the show and read shit and watch shit and stuff like that.
Yet he wakes up every morning and jumps on like Reddit and all that stuff.
So
but he don't read
if that
anything.
means it doesn't seem like I'm interested in it, I apologize.
I like how somebody pointed out, why did you buy the female cut of this jersey? Of a football jersey. They asked him why he bought the female cut.
Yeah, for his titties.
That's right. For the moves.
Guys, I'll put in a little more effort, but no, I still have a good time.
But there is a lot of examples of you, like you are honestly just sitting there going, we've got to hit this goal. Like the goal is kind of consuming what you are at the moment. And you're constantly back to that goal. And
well, yeah, I mean, you got to make enough money to keep going, but I have a good time doing it. I really do. And I appreciate your concern. I'm not trying to belittle it or anything like that. I have a good time doing it. I don't know what else to tell you.
About 12 months ago, well, not about, exactly 12 months ago, you said if you're still begging for money in 12 months, that'd be the end of it. Have you seen
there's a lot of shit that's changed in 12 months, believe me, buddy. Yeah. And just like everything else I say, I'm allowed to change my mind whenever the fuck I want to.
You are allowed. So that's it. You just change your mind. Your attitude's changed.
Through the pretext of this.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
he goes.
Come on here. I want to talk a little boxing with you. I thought that's what we were doing. And now is it?
No, it's just an interview process.
I would have been so disappointed in Hughes if they only talked about boxing.
No, if you want to do an interview with me, I'd be glad.
All respect for him
to do an interview with you. That would be great. I'm not here to do an interview with you today.
See, Hughes, just
staring, and I'll be honest with you, you trying to like start an interview with me today under the pretext of this, I'm not impressed by it. I don't like. It seems a little like.
And who's out to impress him? Like, and is he not impressed by Hughesy doing it? Because essentially, this is Hughesy's doing, And to think that Hughesy had no awareness of this is kind of naive and convenient for Aaron.
Hughesy can kick him off whenever to talk about boxing. Aaron seems to be foolish about that. Of like, he's ruining our boxing talk. Why don't you get rid of this guy?
Yeah.
Never asked him to do that.
Not like, oh, I'm in the middle of a fucking soap opera drama in my life, and I'm being asked on a show. Nobody would really think to ask me about that, would they? No.
Shenanigans.
I mean, Hughesy invited me on the show, and I came on the show.
No, I'll do an interview with you. If you want to DM me or talk to me or anything, you want to set up an interview or something, we can do.
You want to do an interview tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern? I do my show.
The fucking Vikings are on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Vikings Day, my friend.
10 a.m.
Man must do.
Gotta rearrange my underwear drawer.
Vikings Day. No, I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of fucking around. I probably won't do an interview with you.
Oh, well, that's.
I probably won't. You just.
And then he never says one time, Dillon. So Hughesy, you brought me on here for this. Are we going to talk about boxing, dude? Nothing. He don't have a nut in his pants to say anything even remotely like that to Hughesy. Not a bit.
It's all the Aussies guy's fault. Hughesy, innocent Hughesy.
Yes, because obviously anyone that known Hughesy for a minute, shout out Hughesy. He's perfectly
the whole way
innocent
you kind of
Irishman.
jumped on this when this was pitched is like, we're going to go on and talk boxing and shit today. I'm not impressed by it. I'm not impressed by how you went about doing this.
One thing, I like that he feels that someone's out to impress him. No one in this effort was out to impress him, so it's ridiculous.
Hughesy invited me on the show. It's not like,
well, not to interview me though. Like, not to interview me. It's kind of, no offense, kind of a scumbag move.
Scumbag move.
That's
All
how
right,
I kind of perceive it.
Let's talk scumbag moves. What about you told a story about how you got like nose to nose.
No. I'm not gonna
We're not
gonna sit here and do fucking Aaron stories. If you want to sit here and impress, I don't know who you're trying to impress.
I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm asking
run
a question.
through everything I've ever done. I'm not interested. I'll be honest. If you want to cut it here, we can cut it here, and then we can keep going. If you want to hear about all the problems I have with Aaron Imholt, figure that out on your own time.
Okay, Aaron, that's fine.
Any issues? If you say one more fucking word about any problem you have with me, I'll be glad to take off. I got better shit to do. But if you want to drop it now and we can keep going, then you can drop it now and we can keep going.
Okay, Aaron, you've laid your cards on the table. I accept that.
Okay.
Right? You've made you don't want to talk about this stuff. You don't want someone to challenge
That's not
you
what
and
I
ask
came
you
here to
questions.
talk about. I'll talk about it on my show.
That's fine. This
I'll
is
talk
Hughes'
about it
show.
on
It's your show,
Can
buddy.
I talk, please?
Interject.
I just let
Step
you
in.
talk.
Stop it.
Can I talk? This
If
is
you're going to say one more
Can't
fucking
finish.
word about me or anything you were trying to do with me or anything else, no, I'm not going to let you talk. Because honestly, it was kind of a shitty, underhanded way to try and bring up issues you have with me. I don't know who you are.
I don't have
I'm not
issues
famil-
with
I'm
you.
not
I'm
familiar
asking
with
questions.
you.
And that's another thing. Well, that's 23 minutes, so we won't watch the whole thing, Dylan. But yes, any challenge to anything that's been said is all of a sudden you have an issue with him. You could have a perfectly legitimate, maybe like a newsworthy question, but if he doesn't like the tone of it or something, then you're a hater. You're a toe
And
hater.
you want him to delete himself.
Yes.
He's really gone down that road of like, no, we're goofing on you. That's actually the opposite of what we want. You're helping us get super chats and more members and more eyes on our channel by goofing on you.
Right.
And that's once again like this dark side filled type of model where many more people are more successful than the original, where they're getting a lot more views, putting it through the lens of someone else rather than the raw material.
Yeah, and like I said, much like with Stutter and John, I don't need to be the kind of person that's in his chat and say, hey, Stutter and John, I'm here and I'm calling you out on everything. Or, hey, Aaron, I'm here and I'm calling you out on everything. I don't need to be participative, but I do love a good train wreck. And I do love talking about this stuff because I know many people in our Dabbleverse, if you will, are kind of interested in all this stuff, buddy. So, yeah, it's just another fun day in our kind of Dabbleverse drama and everything. And so where do we see all this ending? So as it stands right now, Nick, they're all got charges. They're all up on charges. He's currently charged with felonies and with a felony. So do you have any kind of take on this or like where this might end? You think Aaron's going to end up off the air?
Aaron, he's not a lawyer like Nick Rekieta is. And from the sounds of it, Nick might be able to get everything dropped because he knows the law. Aaron, I imagine he's going away for 90 days at some point for all of these protective orders that he's violating. I love over on Doom's channel, he has over an hour of him violating that protective order of talking about a third party, my cousin, who's not my cousin.
Like literally the next day, his next show he was like violating the terms of the order that he was just admonished for violating. I mean, just no, and that's more troublesome too, is that a bit or not, the fact that he makes so little light of the fact that he's standing in front of a judge and is up on serious charges is really an indication of his level of delusion.
90 days, I believe. I don't think he's going to go away for a long time.
No.
But I believe he's going to spend a short amount of time in the clink.
Yeah, and with all the multiple protective orders, I mean, something's going to happen. But yeah, now we're all kind of in this litigious lane. I don't know how all this is going to end, but I know we're all going to kind of be tuned in for all the drama. Let's check in with some of these chats here, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with me with Dylan today. I'm sorry that I didn't properly ask you if you had a hard out, but obviously I don't know if you do or if you're late for something, but I appreciate you staying this extended time with me today.
Absolutely. I don't have a hard out today. It's been fun. When I do my interview show, like we just went about 30-45 minutes on Stern and Opie and Anthony. Like that'll happen sometimes. Sometimes it'll be Star Trek or Star Wars when I have an interview guest on that we end up just going down that rabbit hole for the entire interview time.
Well, as you can see, as we held our own, I'm pretty sure that if we got together and talked about Stern, I think we could put a couple hours down, my friend. So, yeah, if you ever need like a Stern aficionado or board, you count me in on that. Dylan is like me; he has a hard on. I knew that there was another joke, a hard out or a hard on. I was going to ask him if he had a hard on. But that's really not any of my business. But I thank you for joining me here today, buddy. So, let's do. I mean, we'll do some. Let's get some of these chats in here first. And let's see what everybody's saying because we have a lot of friends checking in the whole time. To join us because of other men. I always had a feeling Aaron would end up on a fella's knee. Says our friend Dream Man.
I did see a while back, Douche of the Dabbleverse was talking about Chrissy Mayer, and it's just amazing how much goodwill she had built up in this community to then just wipe it all away by attacking Clippers. Clippers, we love the Clippers here in this part of the internet. So over on Carl's show, I was actually in the chat room watching live when there were some people like fuck this woman, Carl, because she's declared war on the Clippers.
Well, I did hear this and all, and I really didn't see the clip that set her off, but my opinion of that is if you don't have a problem all along and then suddenly you have a problem with a clipper, that means that somebody was putting out some unflattering, less than flattering clips about you and your program.
I think it's just anything from her show. She doesn't want anyone taking any clips from her show, and I guess you have the right to go after them, but they're actually doing work for you. They're promoting your show by pulling these clips and putting them out there in shorter form than the hour plus, 3 hour plus show.
Yeah, and the whole clipping thing, I was trying to think of, that was near the time where Keanu was just kind of being slowly implicated in the whole, the sexting, the photo coming that way. That was kind of starting to come out. And I think that might have been, that's my recollection of why people might have been even interested in clipping, because Keanu might have been on a particular show one night. I don't know if that's what was the impetus for her recent rant about clippers.
I think Keanu was influenced by Chrissy on saying, "Don't clip my show," period.
Yeah, I have heard that kind of mantra out of both of them, but like I said, right. Two Joints makes a good point. Free advertisement is clipping, I thought, though. Yeah, and I think if you keep it to a minimum, if you keep them to like a minute or so, if you're not doing like extended things when you're not talking over them or adding any context to it, I see clipping as being perfectly fine. I clip some things, maybe people clip some of my stuff, and it's kind of the give and take of doing this is the way I look at it, Dillon.
I don't know the exact what you can flag, but when I do a co-host audition, I start and stop very often to show, hey, this is transformative. I had someone critiquing me, wanting me to start stop less, but I'm going on the safer side of start stopping more often and interjecting something to be like, this is indeed transformative.
Yeah, and maybe people that don't do this every day don't have an appreciation for that it is more beneficial to stop it and add context and content to it, so you don't come up with just a straight, like you're ripping off someone's content. You made it transformative. So I believe that is an important thing to do, buddy. So I guess the next thing we do is just kind of sit back and wait for all these court cases. I'm sure that all these great clippers like Doom and Stalin 19 and My Lost Interest and all the other ones people were mentioned earlier. Who did I forget? Somebody brought another one up earlier.
So Thorough Joe Burrow.
So Thorough Joe Burrow.
TV's Will Heron. Luigi Greenberg started doing classic clips. We've got a lot of clippers doing current stuff. Luigi Greenberg has gone with taking some clips we may or may not remember from the past and bringing them to the forefront again.
That is, and that's a lot of fun, and that's what I'm enjoying so much about, and mixing all these communities together, finding old Stern fans like you, O&A fans, Bubba fans. This whole kind of a community that we have is very diverse and from all of these things. So I love hearing all people's references and their experiences and how they come to be kind of where we all are today. But this is great fun. This is great fun stuff. I had a great time talking to Dillon today, brother. We've been talking for over an hour and a half strong, hour and 45 minutes, and I could probably keep going with you, but I guess we got to pull this train into the station at some point, my friend. Do you have any, give us plugs and tell people where they can find you on some of your shows on Dillon From Somewhere. Tell everybody where they can find you.
That is the YouTube channel, Dillon From Somewhere on YouTube, Tuesday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. We cover Aaron Imholt, a bunch of different people on co-host auditions, TikTok around the clock with a bunch of oddities from TikTok. We just had a new episode covering the unsolved pisteries over in Pasadena, California on today's episode. And looking forward to covering James Rolfe. I know that's another topic that a lot of people enjoy goofing on, and it is fun to goof on James Rolfe. That's coming up in November. Oh yeah, Tales from the Crypt. I'll be covering with Spurg Snake. Fishing for some views with some Halloween content in October.
Awesome, man. That sounds good. Yes, with Halloween right around the corner. There's his link right there. It's been running in my chat the entire time. Check out Dillon From Somewhere right here on YouTube. And as I've described here today, and as you can tell, he has many different kind of diverse shows that kind of fill different needs and all. So I would recommend to you to go check out Dillon From Somewhere by clicking on the link in my chat today. Dillon, my friend, it was great to meet you in person for the first time and have this extended time with you. You know, I don't know if you know this, but maybe a couple of months ago, Hack Ride reached out to me and he says, be BF. I don't know what it is he says, but somehow I think you and Dillon from Somewhere would be great on the air together. And I must say that much like Hack Ride is about other things, he's very correct about that. I feel a kinship. I feel instant familiarity with you, and it was a lot of fun talking to you today, my friend.
Yeah, very naturally flowing conversation. I enjoyed my time here, and yeah, if we just let loose, we could go all day on this show. But we don't. We do want to leave you wanting more. We don't want you like the Stuttering John of 3-4 hours at a time. I attempted to watch some of those episodes. Ooh. He does not get out of there. We do have to get out of here at some point, so you're not like, oh, these fucking guys, Jesus.
He's doxing himself, saying he lives in Pasadena.
Right. You are right near the epicenter of the unsolved mysteries, the mystery piss bottles being left on the Transformer.
Oh, Jesus. That's what... I didn't know that's what that was. See, so there's that kind of topic and content that you can catch from Dillon From Somewhere pretty much every day, like previous to BF Live on YouTube. You typically do like early mornings, right?
Yeah, 11:30 Eastern. I call myself the Mad TV to your Saturday Night Live. I've got a 30-minute lead, and you can watch Bobby Friend after me, or you can catch the beginning of me and watch Bobby's whole show. That's the Mad TV over here to your Saturday Night Live.
Well, I appreciate that compliment if I ever get so close to being that. Thank you, sir. It was great fun meeting you today, buddy. So, yeah, I think I'm going to pull this train into the station. I think we got all the comments taken care of, probably more than I can get. I feel a Matt from Pasadena parody coming to the tune of The Girl from Ipanema. Well, you never know. The only way you would find out is to tune in here every day, Monday through Friday, from 12 to 3 p.m. East. Today is Wednesday. So I'll remind you that my podcasting day is not anywhere near done. If it's the midweek, so if you're not, if you can't wait until the weekend to have a party, and if you want to have some fun tonight, if you want to drink, smoke, laugh, and joke, watch some funny, outrageous videos, and hang out with some cool people, come over to the Levyverse right here on YouTube. Bob Levy's channel, the Levyverse on YouTube. 8 p.m. tonight is where you will see us. So once again, for my new friend Dillon, I hope if you got a second to hang around backstage just to say a little quick goodbye, I would certainly appreciate that at the end of the show. So for my great guest and friend today, Dillon, for Scott Fitzpatrick, Bobby, Nick, and all of our friends couldn't be here today, and the chat family, I'm going to say peace and love, and we will see you the next time we see you right here on BF Live. Have a great rest of your day, folks, a great Wednesday, and a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time. Later, folks. We're out.